drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning?
Yeah, hit that fucking button. Fucking button. Words.
That's all on recording. Hey, everybody. Before we get started, I want to thank our patrons, which includes, but is not limited to, Ahigo Comics, Qua, Jerry Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Nestor Flores, and Sotosano424. And if you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it'll really help us out. I don't know why, I'm super chipper today.
Well, you can be super fucking chipper. I'll be super fucking intoxicated. Let's just how we're gonna fucking roll today, okay?
Alright. Lucky's drunk. I literally just ate, like, 5 seconds ago. I stopped.
He is full of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm full of energy in a different fucking way, though.
Deli turkey on a ciabatta roll.
Oh god, it sounds delicious. No, I just ate too.
No, you're fine. You don't need to eat more. You had this problem with the fucking pizza.
Yeah, no. I have eaten an appropriate amount. I am full. I am not stuffed, though. This is good. This is good progress.
I understand this. I'm not really a heavy eater. Also, my feet are
I'm not a heavy eater, but I've realized, like, I didn't get to talk about this 2 weeks ago, but I'm gonna talk about it right fucking now, because this is what's up, and we just fucking tangent. But, every weekend I've basically been doing out and going and doing, casual labor, part-time jobs. 2 weeks ago, I had to go work. The what?
I said, because we gotta eat.
Yeah, gotta eat. So 2 weeks ago, I went and did a job underneath a rich old, person's house. Basically, I was just laying down plastic, and I was digging a hole for a sump pump. Because, I don't know, maybe people don't know about this, but most houses have a crawl space underneath them, where you have, like, insulation and pipes and stuff, and all this crazy stuff. And occasionally, depending on where you live, water might gather underneath those spots, and that can cause damage or just make things pretty fucking inconvenient. So I was underneath that house putting down plastic and doing basically anti-water methods. Let me just tell you right fucking now, I did not have a good time. I was angry for most of it. If you go check my my personal Twitter, not the StudiOmega Twitter, my Twitter, like 2 weeks ago, I had some very angry tweets about it. Yes, angry. Lucky isn't intoxicated, so he probably can't talk that good right now. So, actually, let me see if I can pull up these tweets, because in hindsight, I found them fucking hilarious. But let me see here. But basically, I realized that, while I am not obese, well, I would not consider myself obese, I am definitely fucking fat.
I know about that.
Yeah. So, me crawling around on my stomach for several hours is not something, I found that I enjoy doing. And the fact that I had to do this for several hours, just fucking, made me livid. I'm like, no, I am not dealing with this. I am not dealing with this anymore. Okay, I did find it. Okay, so it was on May 13th. Just for point of reference, we're recording What's Up on May 25th. So yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago.
Lucky, that's not how math works. That was a week ago.
It was over a week ago. Fuck you.
Well, over a week, but like, calling it 2 weeks full seems a little... 10 days? It's between 1 week and 2.
Let's see here.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's over a week and a half. I'm rounding up. Fuck you.
Alright, he rounded up. He could do that. Oh, shit.
So...
I forgot you can't auto submarines.
No. Wait, yeah, you can.
No, you can't. Not one small promise, you can't. No. You don't do fucking nothing. It's all controls.
Oh, the Azur Lane event. We'll talk about that in a little bit, I promise.
Yeah. That was going to be my intro joke, but then I built a Bismarck, and it didn't work.
Oh. So, let me just read for you real quick. Because I remembered this shit, because when Lucky gets irritated, he just starts saying weird-ass fucking shit. So, May 13th, my tweet is literally titled, "Now as a bonus, weird shit Lucky has said while underground." And I'm just gonna go through a list here. I'm a duck! Quack! No reason, just doing it. Snake! there was actually a snake underneath the house. Because underneath houses is one of those chill places snakes like to hang out. And then I started talking to the snake. Oh, snake, teach me your ways. This is me to my buddy who was also on the ground with me. Hey, the snake gave me +1 to slithering and hissing. He just kind of shrugged at that.
Oh, those are your core stats. You need those bonuses.
Mm-hmm. This is me as I am practicing my my underground movement. I am worm. And here's just a whole bunch of ones of just me just being weird. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't a mouthful of clay. For a bit of context, the area that we were trying to dig into actually had a bunch of clay, and clay is notoriously hard to dig through. So we were getting in nice and deep with that. During one of our breaks, I popped up with the pithy, draw me like one of your underground girls. Let's see here. This is me being angry. Whoever coined the term dig yourself into a hole has obviously never dug a hole. Because, god damn, that's hard. Me talking to the hole, I was digging a few inches deeper, and it will be able to hold all the hate I have for it. And finally, I have become one with the earth. Yes, that means I don't want to move. And I topped this off with a current mood pick of Shawshank Redemption, as the main character has escaped the fucking prison. Because that is on fucking point.
Yeah, so I likes the underground.
Yeah. As I said, like, once I get rid of the stomach and I get a little bit more fit, I might be more tolerant of it, but Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I quickly learned not to crawl on my stomach. Instead, I learned to get on my back and use my shoulder blades as a fucking form of locomotion.
That is the thing people do, yes. Well.
But, yeah. So that was 2 weeks ago. Last week, Lucky went to an rich Korean man's mansion. Well, it really wasn't a mansion, but it had a fucking crystal chandelier in it. So I'm just gonna call it a fucking mansion. Fuck. And I worked on retiling a bathroom, and that was interesting. I learned stuff. I learned that I don't ever want to retile a bathroom ever again.
Tile's not the greatest.
No, my tweet about that situation was could have been a little spicy depending on who looked at it, but you know, everyone heard of the blackface movement. Now I present to you the next controversy: white hand. It was literally just a picture of me in my fucking white ass hand after I got done with all the tiling. That made me happy. I enjoy when people enjoy my jokes. Actually, let me see here. Let's see here. And then... Wait, no. 13th was a Monday. That's right. So, the 18th is when I got covered in tile. Then the 19th is when I got covered in fucking sawdust because I had to go build a fucking shelf over in a spa, which was owned by the same rich Korean dude. And today, I also had to go out and work. I wasn't, like, actually, we're recording What's Up a little bit later than I was planning.
Yeah.
Because, shit went down. I'm not gonna get into full details because, frankly, it's not really that important. But tomorrow's gonna be a hellish fucking day to me, so, everyone pray for Lucky.
Yeah, everybody do that. But also, the short version is, at least, what you told me was, you got back and you were like, okay, my house internet's out and I'm going out for food. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, well, no, originally, like, because I left out for this job at 10 a.m. It wasn't supposed to take any longer than maybe noon to 1 a.m. Like, that's how long it was originally supposed to take. Then it ended like 3 hours longer than that. I was like, God damn it. And then, yeah, I do get home, and then, like, I get on my computer, I'm like, alright, let's do this, and my internet signal has that lovely little exclamation point in the yellow triangle, so I'm just like...
Oh, everybody loves that symbol.
Yep, so I'm just like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna go get me some alcohol and food, because I don't want to goddamn deal with this. And now Lucky is like 5 to 6 shots in a couple beers, and I'm like, now you're dealing with this. I was ranting well, I won't say ranting, but I was definitely giving One Fat Panda my fucking thoughts earlier. Oh, the Apache helicopter was in. I didn't even fucking notice.
Yeah. They asked if we were actually recording now, and I said yes.
Yes, we are. As I said, when Lucky drinks, he definitely gets more loquacious. So prepare for a what's up with more Lucky than usual.
Sure, and he's not afraid to yell at me to shut the fuck up,
Nope.
which I don't mind actually.
That's
I find your honesty refreshing. People,
But,
I'm gonna be honest. Growing up, people didn't tell me to shut the fuck up enough. That's why I don't.
Yeah, normal Lucky can't do that, but intoxicated Lucky, he can.
This is gonna be a real fun stream tonight.
I don't know if I'm gonna be buzzed for that long, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see. Because that's right, we're recording WhatsApp. Let's see. Hold on. How long did that take? That was only like 10 minutes, but still.
Yeah, it's almost 5 p.m. I don't know. I might put a rain check on streaming tonight. Like maybe when I get home.
I'm gonna be honest. That's
tomorrow.
okay. Like if it gets too late, I know you said you're busy tomorrow. That's a-okay if you want to be like, normally I would stream. You can always just stream another day to make it up to them.
Yeah, so I might stream tomorrow. I'm still 1 for fucking 1, but like I actually had plans today, watch some anime, catch up on some stuff, and then just this job just completely like annihilated these plans.
Fuck,
just,
I hate when that happens when you're like, I'm gonna do some shit today. Oh no, I'm not. Whoops.
No. Big fucking whoops.
That happened to me a couple times. I've also had a recent problem. My sleep is all fucked up. Some of it's because it's hot, and also one of my pillows died, which fucks up my sleeping. But also, my day was really disrupted. I think it was on a Wednesday. I don't know if I've talked about this with people, but I don't like using the phone. Phones are archaic. If you're a real person in this 21st century and you need to talk to me and you know it's me, send me a fucking text. So when random numbers call my phone, I know it's not nothing because I'm not expecting any fucking calls and they're not texting me and doesn't say it's my fucking mother or my father. It's nobody. But some people have been very insistently calling me at like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, which for Omega is right dead in the middle of his sleep cycle. And I'm sure Lucky has been woken up in the middle of his sleep cycle enough to know that fucking sucks. That ruins your whole goddamn morning.
Yeah, because you don't go to bed till like 3 a.m. if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, lately not even later. But I usually try to even out, and I think I'm going to try, maybe not tonight, but if I keep having problems, I have some melatonin stashed away, that's usually not necessarily a good sleep, but it'll even you the fuck out. You do pass out. It's not the best sleep in the world, but it'll get you turned around. But yeah, so like that's right in the core of my sleep zone, and just that ruined my day, and I haven't recovered. I've blocked those people now, but that's real hard to do when you wake up from a dead sleep to your phone ringing, and you're like, Remember?
Who was calling you? Was it telemarketers?
I don't fucking know. So here's another funny fact. Sometimes they leave voicemails. I can't check my voicemail because I'm on a VoIP app. To check your voicemails, you got to download their app. On the Google Play Store, this voicemail app has like 1 star. I'm like, I don't like that. I think if I put them on just the cellular network, because it's got the settings, it would let me use my phone's like in-house voicemail, because it's got a little voicemail app. It just is like, oh, there's no voicemails here. But then I can't block callers, and I'm like, so the question is with my life, do I care about people not being able to fucking call me, or do I care what these people want? And the fact is I care that they don't call me. Because like I said, I'm not expecting any calls. Nobody has this fucking phone number. I can't even get Amazon to come get this number. Like, I'm trying to switch over to get texts and stuff, and they're like, They don't ever call me. So, like, literally nobody but my parents knows to call me at this number. So, like I said, it's not for me. And I have actually gotten rando texts from people clearly trying to talk to somebody else, and I'm just like, this is not the number you're looking for. That's easy. That I can handle. The phone calls with the fucking ringing and the talking and the whatnot, yeah. I don't know. It's just really annoying, and it really, like, bothers me. And I wonder, like I said, what the fuck people are doing, right? Why are you calling somebody? Why are you calling a phone? Text them. Just text. It's the year of our Lord 2019. Just text people. Just give them a little bleep bloop. You up?
I don't fully agree with that because, like I said, it honestly depends on the person for me. Like,
I mean, if you need to have a conversation, sure, right? Like, there's some stuff that, like, that's the reason why we still have phones. There's talking business you can do.
Well, it's not even that because, like, sometimes, like, I just need a super quick answer. and I don't need to wait for them to check their phone at their fucking convenience. Because that's what text lets you to do. You can get a text and you can just fucking kind of ignore it until you need to. If someone's like fucking actually calls you, it's like, oh well, this is gonna probably keep ringing until they get bored or I cave in. But like I said, that's something I don't do with like as people usually I work with that I actually get phone calls. Like all my friends don't know, they get fucking texts. But like if it's like something important that I need like an immediate answer right now, no, you're fucking getting a goddamn phone call. Because that's like, as I said, texts are definitely something that's more impersonal and more relaxed. A phone call says something's fucking up. I don't know if I actually made any sense during through all that, but what the fuck?
No, you did. I got you. I guess I don't have that problem with people because I don't necessarily work with lots of people. And I'm sure if I was like working a regular 9 to 5, that would be something that would be on my list, right? Like work would have a phone number in my phone. I'd be like, oh shit, it's work calling.
Yeah.
But like I just think that like when and clearly people don't have the right number, right? Because like I said, nobody has my phone number. Nobody's trying to fucking call me. That's where I'm like, dude, just shoot him a text and be like, hey, is this the right number? And then I don't know. I suppose you could get confused with landlines. I guess I still live in a district where landlines exist, but like, damn, it's just ugh. Actually, what happens if you try to text a landline? Is it just like you can't text this number? Don't know.
Who knows? Maybe they had something really important to talk about. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, well. Anyway, it's
as I said, like
it's resolved. They can hopefully they can figure
on.
it out on their own that this is not the number they should be calling.
Yeah, like I am no stranger to fucking wrong number calls. The worst wrong number calls though are when they are insistent that this is the right number, and you're like, no, it's not.
No, fuck you, it's not. My parents have that problem with mail. There's somebody trying to get some kind of mail to somebody they have the same last name as us, but they have never lived at our residence. They are not a member of our immediate family. Then you're not. This person doesn't exist to us. Why the fuck? And like, no matter how much my parents, like my mom gets out, checks the mail every day, and like scribbles on the address, like return to sender. This person is not at this address and has never been at this address. Sometimes they still keep coming because I assume the wheels of bureaucracy refuse to accept that they are wrong and we are right.
We don't actually have that problem here. Usually, once we do that, I don't know. Maybe the mail will just keep sending it to the same address. I don't know how the U.S. postal system was.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know how the U.S. postal system is alive.
It's like, have they upgraded to computers? Like, how do they sort their shit? How do they deliver the shit? Like, I know nothing of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I think I was on a podcast. I heard somebody read a stat that the USPS managed to like lose millions of dollars or something. Also, I feel a sneeze coming on.
Wow.
Hold. I managed to do that off mic. Okay.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, and also, quite frankly, a lot of the time, USPS has pretty shitty service. Like, for somebody with rain nor sleet nor dark of night, like, I have seen some lazy postal work in my time. Like, I hear stories of people, like, they lost it in the box, they delivered to the wrong fucking, they delivered to, like, an apartment building when it should go to a house, or, like, they lose track of shit. Some of our deliveries from the U.S. Postal Service are, like, big boxes of, like, shipping and stuff, like, groceries and shit, and those have clearly been, like, rolled down the front walk to the front door, like, by hand, not on a cart or something. And I'm like, okay, I understand, they're heavy, but y'all don't need to beat up the box. Though, I don't know, that could just be Walmart. Maybe Walmart abuses the boxes. Shoot, that made me think of something. Oh! No, it was phones that made me think of something, though. Because if we're okay being off that, which we probably could be because I started it.
Yeah.
Hold on, gotta blow my nose. Sorry about that, folks. That sneeze loosened some stuff up. I can breathe now, though. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was that recently I started watching The Wire for the first time.
Oh, I remember hearing you talk about that.
Yeah, one of our community members actually said they were rewatching, and I'm like, oh, hey, where are you watching that at? And they're like, Amazon Prime. I'm like,
this is my second Arc Royal drop. What the fuck, game?
Is it a drop, or you accidentally constructed?
No, drop on on the third map in the Azur Lane thing.
Also weird. I hear you can build gnarly and snappy though.
I'll talk about that more later. Keep talking about.
Oh yeah, so The Wire. So a community member said, "Check my Amazon Prime." I'm like, "Oh hey, it's right there in my list. I should watch Amazon Prime more." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll watch it. Sure, I'll go for it." Goddamn, that show's really good. Now I've said this before. That's crime procedural type stuff. That's kind of my wheelhouse. You know, I studied that for a while, and it's a very realistic, deliberately so take on police procedures. They talk about they got to have probable cause, they got to go through all the thing, they got to send the affidavit for the fucking wiretap warrants and all that stuff. Combined with the usual politicking bullshit you find in office politics. This is all set in Baltimore too, which, if y'all haven't heard, Baltimore's not a great city. They don't have a lot of money and they got a lot of other shit. So, and it's filmed on location a lot too, which I understand stressed a lot of the actors out. But it's just really, really well made and well focused, and I like it a lot. And you can see where it why people think it's such good television even years later. It's really refined, I think, and it's got a very realistic approach. And it doesn't do a lot of weird camera gimmicks or nothing. It's just you're in the shot, you're in the scene, they're doing the back and forth. It's just really engaging, and I like it a lot. It makes me miss investigation and procedural type shit. Makes me miss Night's Black Agents and stuff. I'm like, God, I gotta do that sometime. I gotta do more of that. I love that so much. Or I gotta.
I think we're full tilt in the fucking Mages of War here. So,
Well, you say that. That's another thing I want to think about, but I'm not quite done with The Wire. Because there was one other comment that this community member made where they were like, also if you can watch this show, you can see every black actor before they got famous. They weren't kidding. There's all kinds of people in this. Idris Elba's in it. He's a major character. I forget the actor's name, but that's because I remember mostly as Chalky White from Boardwalk Empire, which is also in my Amazon Prime list. I should finish that series off sometime. There's lots of other people, people who have been in Netflix MCU series and stuff. And wonder of wonders, there's an itty bitty little tiny baby Michael B. Jordan in it. And I'm like, holy... It took me a second, but Amazon has that X-ray thing where they're like, if you pause on Amazon Prime Video, it'll tell you who's in the scene. I'm like, holy shit, that is Michael B. Jordan, who you might recognize nowadays as fucking Killmonger. But here in this show, The Wire, from the early 2000s, he's a little tiny baby child. Shit. I think he's got to be about my age.
Was he even weeb then? We don't even fucking know.
Don't know. But yeah, so it's super interesting to fucking go back in time. These guys aren't even up to flip phones yet. Payphones are a fucking plot point in this series. And you gotta think to yourself, when was the last time I saw a payphone that worked? So there's a lot of period piece to this. Though also some of it's just throwbacks. They talk about how the Baltimore Police Department is so underfunded. They don't have access to modern shit anyway. When they want to do real wiretaps and wire mics, body mics, they have to fucking basically contract out to the DEA or the FBI because their shit is from the 70s. Reel-to-reel tape recording and stuff. But God, it's so interesting, and I love that stuff a lot. I really should bring that back. But so we were talking about Mages of War, doing some stuff in that, doing some revising, wrote some new sections. I wrote a segment on actual conduct and rules of war because we've been talking about that back and forth a little bit. So I figured, all right, that's probably good enough for a fluff chapter in its own right. So I wrote a short segment, which was kind of partially influenced by my own research into the time, but also somewhat influenced actually by you guys playing the game. So it was all right, what are you guys doing and what are you guys not doing? So that's kind of how I approached some of the phrasing. All right, so this makes sense and that makes sense, and we kind of set up this rapport and stuff mage tactics and doctrines. So sometimes you'll run into a guy who thinks, okay, well, a mage is a serious threat, so I'm a mage too. We're gonna go full power at each other. Others are like, oh, collateral's a real bad idea, so we should get up close and try and limit the spells we're throwing around. Which I feel is actually Wolfgang's ethos. It's I don't want nobody blowing no shit up with their mind. We're just gonna get in there and take care of them the normal way.
It's kind of hard to start spell slinging when you got someone shoving a sword in your face.
Mm-hmm. Makes you think about stuff. And also talked about how, if you're in a tactical situation where mages are evenly matched, they either want to endure or they want to wait until reinforcements get there. you want to usually vastly outnumber your opponent, which was something you guys actually did in a recent session. That's not a video yet, but will be soon. I'm up to 20, not 21. I've actually got 20 ready to post. I just haven't had time because it's the weekend and we're recording stuff.
Booyah!
But yeah, so that's ready to go up. But that's the thing you did. You grossly outnumbered an enemy group, and sure they had trucks, but there was like 2 companies worth of you guys hiding in the desert for about 12
I had
guys.
An automatic rifle with like armor-piercing bullets or explosive ammo, depending on which one I wanted to fucking use. So
yeah, and you only like schwacked half the trucks. Like you only had to actually physically disable them. One of them, I just said, okay, you order your company worth of guys to just get on the road and stop this truck. Hey, it's a 1900s truck. They stop it. They got fucking magic flying engines. They just, lean on the suspension or something until it stops going, or just grab the driver.
Yeah.
But I made notes for like, well, why don't mages who are outnumbered say surrender all the time then? Well, some of them feel it's a point of personal pride. They should at least try before they give up, right? Like, you don't want to look bad. You've got a personal sense of honor. You don't want to do anybody dirty, but at the same time, you don't want to look like a coward. You have to at least try.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I had to like. Well, go ahead.
Effort, they got out of the truck, and then the 2 of them immediately died. So,
and then they were like, "Okay." Oh, he's yelling on the radio. Yeah, this was I think a good session because it encapsulated the appropriate amount of challenge. Because it really did go your way, but that's because once again, you guys made critical rolls at key points. Like, there have been a couple times, for instance, you've leaned heavily into the fact that your comrade, you're basically your buddy cop NPC, has a radio pack and cryptography to actually understand how to work the fucking radios. Like, you've leaned into that hard, and I don't think she has a huge percentage with that skill.
I think her is 25, and she has a plus 10.
Yeah, so you've got a 1 in 3 chance here, but it's worked out a couple of times. It was absolutely mission critical.
Yeah.
So, you're able to do some stuff to actually, make it so, okay, they really are screwed. They're going to give up. There's no harm, no foul. We give up. If I'd been smarter, I might have had them stay in the truck and buff up. But, they didn't know what the fuck was going on. They couldn't see. So that's, there were a lot of key roles to be like, okay, well. And there were times when I fucked up shit too. Stuff went badly for me. Like, one guy jumps out of his truck. You're standing there on a hill, plain as day, like, 30 meters away. And had he not immediately fumbled his roll to jam his gun, he would have had you dead to rights. But, hey, what happened? Jammed his gun up.
Oh, you say that, but I can't remember what I cast. I was casting the piercing rounds. I rolled first roll of the day was a 98, and I'm just like,
Well, yeah, but you didn't fuck up on anything critical.
Yeah.
I went in the rules and I'm like, okay, so technically there's no specific rule for botching a spell roll. You just failed with maximum degrees, so you just failed a spell and you were like, I'll let it pass.
That's right. I didn't need piercing rounds that badly.
Yeah, that would have... Pushing sucks. That's what I call it. When you fail a spell, you got 2 choices. This is regardless of failure level. You can either let it fizzle and just be like, nope, it didn't work. Or you can push, which means you get 0 degrees, so you don't get any bonus effects. Your duration is probably super short, and you're fatigued for the rest of the encounter because you're sucking up some of your personal energy for this. So you didn't want to push at 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun's barely come up, and you're just trying to make your bullets penetrate armor better.
Yeah.
Now had those guys actually gotten off their thing and they'd hardened up, they were wearing body armor, they could have been tougher.
They could have been.
But they didn't. You didn't need to worry about that because you've got fucking Ulrich, who we've decided is Revolver Ocelot now.
We have. He will be the Revolver Ocelot to my big boss.
We finally tested the Overwatch rules, and hey, it turns out that our buddy Marth's character is actually super spec for that. He took Gunslinger and Grunt, which have bonuses to Overwatch, and then so basically he draws his pistols, cocks back the hammers, does the steady weapon, and then Overwatch, and it's just like, okay, if anybody moves in my zone, I'm like, all right, 6 mages come piling out of the thing, so you're like, okay, you can get 2 shots off, and just blam blam. And both of them were, dead on the money. He got center of mass torso hits and just took those guys out. Went through their armor like butter. Which, like I said earlier, was their mistake. They should have, if they were being smart from a Watsonian perspective, if they were being smart, they shouldn't have jumped out of that truck until they'd cast Harden on themselves and like actually, buffed up their armor. But they wanted to see what was going on.
Like, someone get eyes.
And probably like they could have poked through the canvas, but mages. Also, I like to run stuff pretty freeform. I don't like to like get too fussed up in the tactical expediencies. I know Lucky will care about that for like an hour to 2 hours before the actual mission. So usually I just kind of let it ride and let people do what seems natural to them. Mm-hmm. I think the also the one time I got really tactical with it, that session kind of sucked because that was just they're shooting at you from a very long way off and you can't do fuck all about it.
Nope. I'm working on that though. I almost got fucking teleport. Almost.
Yeah. And, we're still doing the eternal beta thing. Like, the other day, you came back at me, you're looking at the mobility, I think it was mobility, and you're like, hey, why are Air Dash and Blink too similar? And I'm like, they might be. There's a couple of distinctions, but these are old, and I haven't rewritten them, so hold on, let me take a look at it. Yeah. And I rewrote it to be a couple more specific, so, like, Air Dash now has, I said, kind of like a biotic charge effect. Okay, so it's, you physically traverse the space. You don't take any damage if you bump into something, but if you do bump into something, if it's a vehicle or a structure, you stop short. If it's a person, they got to make a strength test or they fall over. They're basically pushed over. And now, if you do hit something and stop short, though, you can attempt to make an athletics roll to grab on for free. So it's like if you were like shooting sideways or jumping straight up. It's also DOS based, so if I know you said like, oh, but you unless you're stacking mad bonuses, you can't get a lot of DOS. In my mind, I'm going, yeah, but it's you guys. I know you guys. You are the players. You'd be like, if you really needed to air dash somewhere, you'd be like, I'm going to burn like 3 Ethereum charges. So, yeah, no, which is, I assume, I haven't done the actual math myself, but I assume the average on that's like plus 2 DOS, so, per charge.
Yeah, no, that's, I would say that, like, between me and Marth, like, when we actually try to succeed on a thing, we're usually shooting anywhere between 2 to 5 DOS, usually.
And, now, to be fair, you're bumming a lot of resources about that. Like, that's a serious expenditure, and God knows you guys don't want to have to hoof it anywhere. If you run out of Ethereum cores, because that means your mobility units don't work. But, yeah, understanding players, I understand that if they get something like a DOS and they really want to succeed, they'll pay for it. But I did work on Blink and actually point out, like, you can be a little more freeform with it, and because it's basically a teleport, it's like, if there's anything in your way, you ignore it. You can choose which direction you're facing, so there's no, like, weird complications where you're like, oh shit, I teleported behind him, but I'm still facing the same way now. You can turn around and all that other fun stuff. And then the other day, I was thinking about bonuses, and I was like, there's a spell to boost just about everything except int, I think. And I'm like, well, I should probably fix that. So I gave one of the other spell trees a pass over, and I'm like, all right, I got one. So I called it Ancient Wisdom, and now you can do a spell to get plus 20 to all int-linked rolls, plus 30 if you're doing something memory-based, and you double your intelligence mod if you're healing or fixing things. So if you're a big brain, you can cast big brain magic on yourself and get even more galaxy brain. And then I was like, shit, because that tree is balanced between, like, enhancing items and enhancing yourself. So I was like, all right, I need another top tier for, like, enhancing items, so I came up with another one. Actually, Axe, since you're here, let me check how long you missed. Yeah, about 34 minutes on the mission clock.
Tick-tock. On the dot, motherfucker.
But yeah, so that's... Mages of War is a lot of fun. But what I was going to say earlier was, I was thinking, since we're on... We just finished 21, right? Yeah. So I was thinking that I want to try and set it up so that there's probably something like a nice big step around like 24 or 25, and I want to call that the season. That's the season 1 of Mages of War. After which I probably want to go ahead and rebalance like the advanced careers, because I've been talking about that for a while. So I might want to be like, okay, we're at like a pause point, and you'll actually do something significant. We can take a second to think about stuff. I can reevaluate some things. If there's anything that needs fixing on like a larger term scale, maybe we can go around and do some one shots or try and get some action on some other stuff. But if we don't, we can just jump right back in afterward and start a quote unquote second season. I haven't quite fully worked that out though. I need to see what you guys
I know you've been jonesing for playing L5R, and I know Marth wants to play Star Wars again.
Yeah, it's true. I do have that book, I think, mostly. I gotta double check.
Yeah, so I want to be opposed to starting something else, but no, like much like the kid, I fucking love Wolfgang and what he.
No, and honestly, like I don't want to be like, well, it's 24 sessions. It's time to fucking end this. No, because there's a lot to work on here. Like for game design wise, it's super helpful to just play the game and figure out what works and what doesn't. But also, it's actually really entertaining to do all this stuff and kind of like, I made this sandbox, so it's kind of fun to play in it, right? And it gives me a lot of satisfaction to figure stuff out. Figure what works, what doesn't, try new fun stuff with you guys, actually see you guys use the rules to do cool stuff. Like, you actually did a pretty slick combo in the last session where you remembered you have certain abilities and were like, okay, so I'm going to do this as a free action, and now everybody else gets a free action, and then we all do this. And I'm like, yes, do it. Do it. You're killing it. You're doing the thing. I love that. So, yeah, I don't want to be like, we've been doing this too long, it's over, because it's not really. I got lots of ideas. There's all kinds of big, conclusive stuff I could do with plot threads we got running, but it's just, I'm like, I don't want to just jump in there. I want to, like, have it make sense. So I've come up with some ideas, and I actually, I talked to you the other day, and I'm like, I talked to you guys, actually, in our secret tabletop cabal.
Super secret.
Where I'm like, yeah, so I know I said I was thinking about having like a brain trust meeting so we can actually talk about stuff in character and you guys can get some downtime, but I'm thinking this is going to be bigger than that, and we're going to end up with lots of vaguely defined NPCs we're going to get introduced, and we'll see if they matter. And kind of like scale this up a little for a bigger feel.
Oh yeah, and my immediate response is like, I imagine there's going to be a lot of faceless Gendo posing. For those not in the know, Gendo posing is just that image of Hikari Gendo, just, arms folded in front of him, his glasses shown the fuck up. Just max, that's galaxy brain level right there, as you think about shit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
But yeah, so, like, I've done a lot of thinking about that. I've got some character designs in mind. I've got some plot hooks, and then, we'll talk to some stuff. And, of course, hey, guess what? A lot of these plans are going to involve you guys on the hairy end, so you get to get a little bit of input. Yeah. What plan do you feel most comfortable executing? The one where, you stub your toe, or are you thinking about bonking your forehead kind of thing?
Good time.
And I got a lot. I'm being inarticulate because I don't necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily want to give away surprises before we get to them, because this is the thing we've talked about. I don't know if we've talked about this on WhatsApp, but talking about like how players handle things. Yeah. I'm actually surprised on you, but good on you, because you actually had this situation where I gave you a week to think about the plan and think about the mission, and you were getting real deep on like, okay, we need to do more magic shit. We're going to find a magical solution that's really complicated, and we're going to do lots of dangerous stuff in the middle of the night. But actually, before the session started, you decided, nah, fuck it. We'll just do the mission plan. We'll shoot some guns. I'll try and talk some sense into them. If they don't fucking give up, they don't fucking give up.
Oh, yeah, it was just one of those things. Is like, because in character, I only had a night. Out of character, I had a week. I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't line up. Because this is definitely something I've known about players and meta. If you give, like, especially with LARPing, because, live action role player, if you give a player out of character knowledge about something in game, they will find a reason in game to know that same knowledge. And that's always kind of irritated me. It's like, there's just some things you just don't know and you just can't react to, and you just have to kind of go with. That's, that is honestly the essence of role-playing, of being someone else.
Right.
Because, like, as I said, when I play Mages of War, I am not Lucky. I am fucking Wolfgang Schmidt, a fucking baron stuck in the German colony near South Africa.
You are stuck in the goddamn desert. There's no fucking infrastructure. You have... you got a squadron. I think I said that's, 75 guys under your command-ish?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the time, that's all between you and the wrong end of a bullet.
Yeah. And as I said, we're on 20 sessions, and I definitely feel like I've cemented Wolfgang as someone who thinks outside the box, but is someone who, at the same time, who's not afraid to, put, himself on the front line. And, that's kind of fucking really worked out for, this campaign. The only thing I like, honestly, the only thing I really have like, I guess I would say is a concern is because we record the actual plays, and if it's not Omega talking, it's usually me talking. Like our buddy Marth, who is very solid fucking fellow, has like I've gamed with him for years. He doesn't get a lot of input in sometimes, and like I don't know, sometimes that bothers me. I'm like.
Yeah, I try and like leverage. Hey, you want to be in this scene? But he's built both a character and he's a little more soft spoken himself, as you would know if you've listened to the thing. But also, he built a character who's kind of soft spoken. He's playing a very his starting career was grunt. His like background was isolate. He was like a backwoods kid with basic training, and he just ended up basically being your gopher. But
yeah,
but
see, like here's the thing, especially in like tabletop, everyone needs. Like, this is one of those things I tell people. In tabletop, everyone needs their spotlight. Mm-hmm. And, like, I think that's my biggest gripe, is I feel like I am, like, hogging the spotlight way too often. I've talked to Marth a couple times about it, and he's like, no, I'm cool with it. And I'm like, Because, what Marth does, whenever he does that Zork, he does it real good.
Yeah. It's, I mean, technically, I guess, like, the Overwatch shot was definitely him getting some of that spotlight. That was... He had a mission critical element, and then, you know, he was just like, okay, I'm going to do the thing. Oh, I'm really good at it. And then he definitely placed his strengths, but there are times when it's very quiet. He's just, okay, I'll roll a check. And then I posted it in the chat, and I'm like, okay. Now, I'll admit, I love that he posts in chat, because I can actually eyeball it. There have been several times I'm recording where I have to, like, 60 seconds will have passed, and I've completely forgotten what the fuck Lucky told me he rolled. And they're like, did you roll that check yet? What'd you get?
I'll keep that in mind for future sessions.
And they're like, math. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Because, listen, there's sometimes I gotta juggle a lot of things. I kind of don't want to talk about Game of Thrones, but I've definitely been thinking about stuff from, like, terms of, like, I know people are displeased with the final season in some regards. And some of that has to do with, like, battles and placement and editing. And so on the one hand, I'm sympathetic for, like, oh, you think you've had a somewhat realistic. There's certain things about the Game of Thrones setting that are not actually that realistic. So there's that, but at the same time, I'm thinking playing Game Master is a lot like doing like writing and directing and scripting for like movies or TV. You have a lot of moving parts, which are not just like, oh, the visuals or oh, the speech. Like you have to account for everything, and you have to set it up in such a way so that players, aka the audience, understand what you want them to understand, and that they can interact with it in a meaningful way. If somebody's just going to get steamrolled in a fight, don't have a fight. That's dumb. They're going to lose. Nobody's going to be happy. Your players aren't going to be happy, and you're not going to be happy because you didn't get anything out of it. So, you know, you have to give people options. You have to place stuff in a certain way that they feel like they can move in and out of these scenes and they can do stuff. And it can be really complex. And there are times when I feel like I've not done my best at it. There are other times when I have super enjoyed it and been super happy that you guys really latched on and were in the scene. I had you tell the whole fucking Chimera Village story on air just because I was like, you guys had a really good reaction to that, and I want you to explain that to the audience.
Yeah, that was my immediate thoughts. Like, oh god.
Yeah, and honestly, I think, well, you guys were the scary ones in this case. I think the convoy mission we just did was another really good example of like, okay, here's the scene. You're in the middle of the fucking desert. And there were some incidentals. They were like, okay, you think you're over the target. Are you, you know, it's pre-dawn, so it's like the sky is one shade of black and the ground is one shade of black. You know which is which. And then you're like, okay, let's shine some light down there. I'm like, okay, you're shining some lights. Here's what you see. And you guys hung out in the desert for like 30 minutes or more. Probably more like an hour. Mm-hmm. Just waiting in the desert. And it got hot, and it was cold, and then it got hot, and stuff like that. There was actually one of your abilities came up. I was like, y'all are probably a little cold. And you're like, no, I got fire starter. I'm fine. Yeah. I'm like, okay, good on you. You did the thing.
I said, like, I enjoy role-playing for role-playing, like R-O-L-E, not R-O-L-L.
Mm-hmm. The dice are fun.
Yeah, dice are fun, but, you know, actually being a different person is like really fun, too.
If we ever get around to it, you're really going to like L5R, I think. Yeah. It's like the way the 5th edition is written is all about, like, being this character in this universe. You have to deal with, like, your fucking emotional stresses, and, you know, every character has a fundamental conflict. I did a whole video on this, by the way. You can look it up on our channel, audience, called Duty versus Desire, because that's every character has this fundamental conflict. You've got a duty, what your feudal lord, the guy who's ahead of you in the chain of command, who, according to the rules of honor, if he tells you to, you know, jump, you don't even ask how high, you just jump. And you hope to God you jump high enough. You know, you have a mission, but then you have a desire. You have a human thing that you want to do. These can range from, like, I gotta get revenge on that guy who killed my brother, you know, I have a childhood sweetheart, I need to make sure she's happy, even if we're not happy together, you know, she's gotta be happy at least. I want to be fucking famous. I want to write a book that's, you know, the bestest book ever. I want to, you know, die alone and die happy and surrounded by friends as opposed to alone. Well, hey, guess what? Your duty and your desire are going to conflict, which is going to stress you out, and you sometimes have to make choices. You have to be like, what do I do? Am I going to stick to my guns and do what society tells me to do, even though it's painful, or am I going to do stuff that helps me? And the game is all about that and all kinds of interesting conflicts. I need to find some good fucking people to run it with someday. I've got a test scenario already written if I can get some people together, like on some afternoon, and like just, you know, pilot the game with people so I can get a feel for running it. How's your campaign coming, Lucky?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't worked on it much recently.
That's okay.
Just mostly because, as I said, like, my weekdays, I'm kind of just brain. Like, I do, like, all my heavy thinking, like, on the weekend. Like, honestly, I have no idea where my fucking week went.
That happens to me sometimes. That's how. Well, I mean, I said part of it was because I didn't sleep good, but some of that was just I don't know where my time went. Oh, you know, Lucky, you know where I bet our time went? Gotcha. That's definitely siphoned some of my time away.
Oh God. Gotcha.
So,
why?
Do we want to go ahead and talk about that, or do you think we got more to talk about tabletop games?
Well, I said we don't got much. We definitely don't got much more to talk about the tabletop games. I'll tell you that much. I do want to talk a little bit more about Mages of War though, because, as I said, like, Mages of War is a fucking treat personally. Just because, like, before I oh God, my chair just did a weird thing. Okay, never mind. But before I started playing Mages of War, I really didn't know that much about World War One. And now that, like, we're like 20 sessions in, I'm not gonna say I am a fucking authority on it, but I can definitely tell some people some shit and be all like, no, fuck, you, calm the fuck down. Have you heard about Article 231? And, you know, just like that kind of stuff. And so I'm kind of, like, this is one, like, I think this is probably one of the main reasons, again, why I like Mages of War so much, is just because playing, like, alternative history is such a treat in like, so many ways. Because, like, I'm pretty sure, I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but Wolfgang's goal, as I said, he's someone who thinks about outside the box and is not necessarily tied to stall, industrial, military, complex tradition, is looking out at the world and be all like, we're about to get fucking steamed the fucking rolled over here if we don't do something. Because I actually looked into it and found out that the British armies completely and utterly overran the German colonies because
they thought the Germans had a shitload more guys than they did, so they brought a lot of guys.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I want to avoid that, and so I'm having fun, like, thinking about this. I actually mentioned it. God, what was the line I had said? It's like, Lucky is losing too much sleep thinking about his not real soldiers and from his not real officer in his not real game. Or I was like stressing over it. Because that's one of those things, like, when you actually have like those kind of responsibilities and stuff, like, that actually gets to you. And the fact that I'm getting this kind of feel from just a tabletop game really speaks to me. Like, as I said, like, it's stressful, but at the same time fun. And so, like, I hear Omega talking about, like, yeah, we're gonna end out the season here pretty soon. I'm like, shit. It's like, where are we gonna end at? Because, again, Mega mentioned earlier, we're about to have a big brain trust meeting. And I've been talking earlier about, like, how we, I think it was like in our secret tabletop cabal. It's like, yeah, if we want to have any sort of survivability, we have to take fucking this, like, the British, the Commonwealth's southernmost colony. We have to take basically South Africa to basically remove one of our enemies.
Yeah, and by the way, if we ever say weird names when discussing Mages of War, it's because Mages of War is actually alternate history. And I, as an astute student of the Animus, everything has a slightly dumb, different name.
German. The Germans were known as Stahl. British is known as Commonwealth.
Yeah,
those are
the actual British Isles are Britannia, but instead of the United Kingdom, it's the United Commonwealth. Instead of the United States, it's the Federal States. You know, France is Fleur. You've run into any of those guys.
Yeah.
Belgium is just Belgia. There's a lot of Latinate names that are carried over, like Russia is called. I guess technically, since it's Latin, it should be with a hard C. Should be like Scythia or something, but I like Scythia better.
Scythia in front was fun.
Yeah, those old sessions are up there. That's real early though, and like, also on shittier microphones. So listen at your own risk.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so like honestly, like Mages of War is actually something I think about in my idle hours of what the fuck do I want to do? Do I we've joked about this a couple times, like actually in play, but Wolfgame's Hearts and Minds campaign. Basically, Wolfgame's trying to build enough rapport with the locals that he can basically count on them to, assist when if shit goes topside. Like, because if you've been watching or listening, to our actual plays, you know that, actually, does our colony actually even have a name? I've never asked.
Oh, yeah, it's because here in real life the region was called German West Africa. So you're basically Stahl Al-Kelbalon or Stahl West Al-Kelbalon.
So Stahl West Al-Kelbalon. We're having the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is hitting our supply line, so we're not getting as much supplies as we usually in. So Wolfgang has been reaching out to local villages and he hasn't been doing it recently because he's been fucking busy, but before all this happened, Wolfgang had been reaching out to local villages for excess supplies because Wolfgang and his entire platoons are fucking mages and they can do goddamn magical shit, and we should be doing more goddamn magical shit so we can turn this situation around. One of the things he thought of was we have like earth, wood, and water mages. Why can't we just go bless some fucking fields and get some free food out of this?
And you can't. So, it's the height of the growing season because you're in the southern hemisphere, which means it's high summer.
Yeah, and so basically, furthering that idea, it's like, yeah, we could just literally go to these villages, dig wells and bless crops, get some food, build local rapport, shore up our own like food stores, and win hearts and minds. Because, that's definitely something that was not happening in fucking colonial Africa back in World War One.
Nope.
Like, this was something I actually learned recently. There was a lot of rebellions, like, back in Africa when,
And not all from the original natives either. There were two Boer Wars, which was very interesting, and you guys are probably going to try and capitalize on.
Yeah, we are.
Because the Dutch-speaking Boers are more close to the German colonists than they are with the British colonists.
Yep. And honestly, learning that interesting fact was the entire reason I'm like, no, we need to try and take South Africa. If we don't do like this now, we're not going to have another chance.
Now we need to push in. You can't dig in. Because, in case you guys aren't familiar with world history in that regard, the German West Africa is now modern-day Namibia. Which, it's funny how this works out, but literally the lines of the country of Namibia are just the lines where the German colony was drawn, and then the League of Nations took it over, and then in, I think, the 60s they got independence, so basically they just cut it out and said, okay, you're Namibia now, because of the Namib Desert. So you're in an arid fucking place. I believe there's some decent, sustenance agriculture there, and they have some food exports at this point now in our modern time, after, a couple of decades of industrialization and stuff, but like this was part of the campaign decision to set it here was like, yeah, you guys have shitty infrastructure. you don't have roads to some of these places. You have a couple of railheads, you know. There aren't a lot of rivers in this country, so like ports are just inlets and coves, and then it's like, okay, there's a real line here.
You know, and before Wolfgang was all okay with this, like, yeah, whatever, it's fine, whatever. The most glamorous of places, but we make do. We are no longer making do.
Yeah.
And so, Wolfgang is like, all right, shit needs to change.
Yeah,
and I think the most interesting thing about this is Wolfgang's not at the top of the fucking chain of command, but neither he's at the bottom. He's at this interesting middle spot.
Mm-hmm. You're middle management. You have for mages, you have a lot of fucking bodies. We talked about earlier. You are a captain rank equivalent. You're a Hauptmann. Your official role is squadron commander. You have, it's called a squadron because they're mostly air mages, but you have 3 companies, about 75 guys under you, plus a little bit of extra support staff and command staff. So you have a decent chain of command. Like you're above a junior most lieutenant who's commanding a platoon of guys. Which is where you started. You started as a basic lieutenant, but then you won a big decisive victory. You got some medals, and it was like there was a whole reorg and stuff, which I decided to act on. And you pushed up, and so you're in a lovely middle management position. You're still pretty young. You don't have some authority. You're probably not scooting up the chain unless your CO scoots up the chain, and then you have to go where your current CO goes. Mm-hmm. Not that I think you mind,
at the same time because I basically have like all this player meta knowledge. I'm like, all right, how am I going to get this to work in game?
Right. When we were actually talking about how we wanted to go forward, we had to take a break before one session and like actually figure out the meta narrative. There was definitely some back and forth. It's just like, well, okay, there's still chain of command to be respected. Like, obviously, you guys have free will. You're not robots, but there will be times when command is going to ask you to do something within a time frame, and it's going to be like, well, unless you want to get the firing squad.
Gotta fucking do it.
Yeah, and that is somehow how the military game goes. Though there are notes in the martial section. I've actually written notes for people who aren't me to play this game someday and run it, which is like, hey, don't be too harsh on your players. They're playing a military game. They don't technically have a lot of freedom in life necessarily. So let them be free with some of their choices. That's why you guys get away with some of your ludicrous combinations like Ulrich's revolvers. Which are, thanks to modifications, down to like 3 rounds per gun, but they're really big bullets.
One shots. Jesus fucking Christ, Marth.
Yeah, he slapped a guy in the chest, and it was just like, oh, he's only got 16 wounds. That's an 18. Yeah, he did. Because the general rule which the Marshal has, the notes about this in the Marshal's Guide is, if an NPC is not an important named character, if they hit 0 wounds, they're just dead. They're dead. They're done for. If they matter, they can do like player characters where you get a toughness save, which is like, okay, if you pass the save, you're just dying. If you fail it, you're fucking dead. I'm sorry. You better hope somebody bought up enough tears that they've got one of the like 2 or 3 ways to res somebody.
Res!
And it's not cheap either. Like, I have actually like the Phoenix Ashes, because, Phoenix is Phoenix Town. You can buy those for 1,000 MC, which is, let's see, what is it like? 10 MC's worth like $100, I think, in modern money. Yeah. So 1,000 is like what, 10,000 more? 100,000.
We don't make that much money. We're like in game right now. Oh, excuse me. In game right now, it's like we're trying to cut corners on costs. I'm like, all right, I want to make a Master Tower Shield, but Jesus fucking Christ, I'm gonna have to actually make it.
Hey, yeah, you're gonna have to make it with materials, at cost, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford to hire somebody, and that's generally how the economy system in the game works. There's 3 ways to get things. First off, the easiest way is you guys are mages. This is a turn of the century war. You find some shit on the battlefield, you can pick it up, and
Trophies.
keep it. You might have a problem finding bullets for it later, if your marshal cares about that. But
actually, I do enjoy the fact that you do care about this because in the last mission we actually hit a convoy. One of them was just, or was it 2 trucks?
There were 2 ammo trucks.
2 ammo trucks just full of weapons and ammo, and we just looked at this like, we literally can't use any of this. Because it's all Commonwealth weapons and ammo, and, not using same. We're not using
which was a real problem. This was before basically everybody standardized, right?
Yeah.
Like, now I think there's like 2 or 3 primary calibers for any given assault rifle in the world, right? You've got NATO calibers, and you've got the Russian clone calibers.
Yeah, you got 5.56, 7.62, and
There's a couple of NATO calibers. There's a couple of Russian
Yeah.
calibers. The
Yeah.
Chinese have their own like weird proprietary calibers, but they're roughly analogous.
Yeah, but like here's the thing: like most assault rifles, like if you get them like there's a good chance you can fit a fucking like 5.56 or a 7.62 in something that's supposed to take a 5.56 or a 7.62.
Hell, a lot of these things have compatible magazines. Like right, like you can take
Yeah.
the fucking standard ass 5.56 magazine out of like a German rifle, stick it in an a lot of American rifles. It'll
Yeah, as
fire
long
all
as
the fine.
Yeah.
That's why it exists,
Yeah,
right? NATO
but,
standardization. This is way before that. These people barely have proper semi-automatic firearms, okay? Right? Like,
Yeah.
I've done some actual history on this. Semi-automatic pistols have existed for maybe 20 years at this point.
Oh god.
And a lot of them were clip-fed. Like, you're like, all right, yeah, exactly. You're 4 years, because the game's currently set in 1915. So you're like 4 years from, 1911, the year the Colt 1911 was, so like box magazines have been a thing for 5-10 years in pistols, right? So like weapons technology is really weird and very personal. I've discovered doing a lot of this history research. You have like almost like rock star gunsmiths, basically, back to the days of like Colt and like. Yeah, this is my mechanic for the magazine and the loader, and I picked the caliber, and the calibers are weird shit sometimes. You got like 6s, 8s, all kinds of stuff out there, and then some guy is like, no, I refuse to redesign my pistol. Okay, well we're gonna get another fucking designer on it, and he's gonna make the Luger. That's how the Luger came about. I think it was Borchardt was the original pistol model. They were super clunky. They had like this weird thing on the back. They had like big open slides and stuff, and clunky magazines. They were really meant to be a carbine with a stock on the back. And the gun company who was making them was like, dude, you have to like modernize this. We've put this through military trials. There have been multiple armies at multiple years have told us what they want us to change about this gun before they'll buy in bulk. And he's like, I'm not fixing it. And they're like, okay. They handed it to the gun designer Luger. He comes back. You have the P04 model of 1904 or model of 1908, and they're like, okay, this works. Which, by the way, the Luger in 8mm Mauser and 9mm Parabellum was, by all accounts, an incredibly finely made gun, very reliable, quite a lot of variety in parts, and so well made that they were considered the trophy item for 2 world wars. If you captured or shot a German officer in a couple of world wars, you'd want to take his gun because they were just that well made. And you guys have done similar to that, where like, ooh, a shotgun, those are great. I even had that question, like, where I think Mart's character and his Ulrich was like, oh, I have a trench gun, which was originally Commonwealth. Do I need to take ammo for that? And I'm like, honestly, I don't think so. I mean, it's 12 gauge buck. Like, you can find that anywhere. Shotguns are not as flexible as rifle or pistol rounds right now, so you'll find them. Which, in case you didn't know, is basically true. Anybody using a shotgun for just about anything, hunting, law enforcement, police, self-defense, whatever you want to call it, they're using 12 gauge. So those are all compatible. But yeah, there's a lot of weird gun stuff in this, and it matters. I was talking about procurement actually originally. So the other two ways is there's something called a procurement roll. You roll just your straight charisma or your straight intelligence. Basically, charisma is how well can you bullshit. Intelligence is how well can you write memos that say you deserve this thing. That's modified by the item's rarity. Plentiful items are like ration tins, cigarettes, clean water, paper, street clothes. Those are like plus 30. I think spare bullets, like regular bullets, are considered plentiful because the amount of ammo you use in most of these guns, like most of these things are like a 5-round mag or a 5-round clip, right? You're not holding a lot of bullets unless you're packing a machine gun. Or that god-awful trench broom that Ulrich built, which is like he has an SMG with like the drum mags and all the other shit, and I'm like, the quartermasters have to hate you because every time you go out, you dump maybe half the drum, and then you're like, okay, this is half done, I need you to reload it. I think we're going to continue the narrative that the quartermasters secretly hate Ulrich, and they will stop doing things for him, and he's just going to have to do all this work himself.
I'm pretty sure like we actually mentioned that. Like
No, the major straight up came at you and it was like, "Hey, I need to get this straight. The logistics team gave me a report that your senior NCO came in with a couple of revolvers and he wanted some stuff done to them, which they said was not standard. Did you know about this?" And you were like, "Yeah, I authorized it." And they're like, "Okay, they're not taking responsibility for those weird guns. He's gonna have to do it himself." I think his pistols are decorated too. He has tactical fucking engravings.
So,
Which actually did matter because we were talking about him spotlighting. He also got to use the fact that Ulrich is super fast. I think he's taken every spell and every possible like advanced career and stuff to increase his mobility. He's fast. So he basically ran up to the side of a truck and jumped in with two revolvers drawn. Him is like, "I just reloaded, guys. So y'all want to stop this truck?" And they were like, "Okay, we want to stop the truck. We're done." The other thing is what I call military credit, which is basically my way of handling script. Every army has a script currency. Everybody's economy is out of control in this war. So like eventually your paper money stops meaning stuff. So no, you just take military script instead. Military credit, which is civilians can exchange it for goods at like a PX or something anyway, so they'll take it. And that's the easiest way to buy something is to just throw your wad of money on the floor. Maybe you roll a commerce check to be like, "Hey, yo, can I get a discount?" And then you're done. Whether that's you're bribing your quartermaster that something falls off the truck, you're finding something civilian, whatever. Oh, that reminds me, I haven't told you this yet, Lucky. Just for you, in the standard items list in the Advanced Player's Guide, there is now a bullhorn.
Oh, nice.
You can get your mechanical megaphone to yell at people.
Awesome.
I don't think you even need to make it magic to yell louder, because I did some research, and I mean, like, they're a little big and they're a little heavy, but they talk about, like, oh, you can make a person hear you at normal speaking tone, like, a mile away, and, like, okay, I don't think you need to magic this. You can just yell really loud.
Well, it was something that came up last game. I'm like, I want to yell at these guys for surrender, but there's a lot of guys spread out here. What do I do?
Yeah, there were several guys over, dozens of meters in trucks, trucks which were trying to get places fast. So it was like, yeah, I don't think they can really hear you too well. I was like, shit, I need a megaphone. I'm like, oh yeah, no, bullhorn. There you go, it's right on the list. And so that's something you could probably find at a civilian market. So next time we have a session, you'll take your hazard pay you got, and you'll peel off a couple of bills of military credit and go, "1 bullhorn, please." Because with a military game, like I said in my GM notes, players have some customization. Mages are like this. You guys are the cream of the crop. You're the proto special forces, right? You can get away with a lot of shit because you shoot magic bullets, and you can make stuff be on fire with your mind. And you can, in a lot of cases, take care of your own shit, right? Like, mages have to have a lot of technical stuff. You've picked up craft. You're thinking about picking up mechanics. You weren't originally, but you're having to deal with, making and maintaining your own shit. And like, okay, well, I need to be able to do it myself.
Yeah, well, like, originally I wasn't planning on picking it up. I was like, fuck no, this is like, it's way too useful just to have it rather than not. I was like, God, oh well.
Well, I think with craft, at least you turn it, because you went out of your way to buy, like, artisan tools for painting, so you've got your fucking watercolors finally.
Yeah.
After I think, 3 missions in a row where you botched up your perception check, and all I had to say to you is, you're like, "The scenery is very pretty. You wish you'd brought your paint set."
Hey,
that's our usual. That's a joke I think I got. Was it from Roleplaying Public Radio? I've actually heard it a lot of places, so I don't know where it originates, but it's a meme I've carried to my home group, which is like, you roll a perception check, you completely flummox it up, and like, you think you're in Africa. This is your perception.
It's been around as long as I've been playing with you. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's a long time. So I don't know. I definitely was inspired to say that, but like, I think I heard it from multiple sources over time. So there, if you're out there and you're a tabletop nerd, you can take that to your home group. I didn't succeed on perception. I
gotta remember, I actually bought Watch My 6 for my companion just for this exact fucking problem.
Yeah, that's another thing I love about the companions is the way you guys have shaped them. Like, you've started calling the Corpsman Old Man Raph now because Marth gave him mentor, like to indicate that he's like a teachy type character. He's guiding through some shit. He's taught some things. He knows some things about craft and other stuff and survival. So you use him to like shore up stuff.
I'm glad we're not just literally treating our NPCs as just a note to, like, not a note, but just an additional mechanic to our characters.
No, and that's not how they're supposed to be. There's sections in the book which are like, hey, these people are gonna have role playing decisions. For the sake of the players, your companion is probably not gonna give you shit most of the time, but they are a person with feelings, so role play them accordingly.
Yeah, and like Raph, we always kind of say he's like kind of a surly guy, but he has your best interest at heart, and he's gonna try and save people, and he knows a few things. But don't expect him to stand on fucking ceremony about shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the XO is just don't fucking cross her. Just don't.
Yeah. You were out for medical for a little bit, and I mentioned that she's out putting the fear of God into the guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I bet she is.
Sounds like her.
There was a note in your very lovely. We did the whole Christmas episode. You had all the gifts and stuff. She gave you a lovely pocket watch. Set with, I think it was emeralds. It was, solid gold, really well made. And there's a little note in it, which is basically like, if you lose this or you try to do magic to hit somebody with it, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yep, and I'm like, message received.
And she
and
would.
So, like, yeah. As a reminder,
what all templates does she have at this point? Is it just?
Oh no, she has like 3 templates at this moment. She has Comrade, Adjutant, and Shooter. Maybe I'll add Gun Maul to her at some points, but
yeah. So she first of all is your close personal friend, which is why she gets away with so much shit. That's what Comrade is. Comrade is just this person is. So the way the actual companion mechanics work is, I think I said this before. I kind of cribbed this from Only War. But basically, the idea is if you choose to kind of fluff out your ranks to make you feel larger, if you don't have a huge playgroup, or you just want more bodies to make it seem more appropriately military, you can take a companion, and they are your backup NPC. They have their own special action where they help you with stuff. You can give them different orders, but they have a lot of different categories. Comrade is just, this person is your buddy. Maybe they're your childhood friend. Maybe they were with you in basic, Maybe they're your old college chum, but they're just a close friend you have. Adjutant is, this person is like your executive officer or one of your senior. They are your backup commander. They have command authority to yell at people when you're not yelling at people. And then Shooter is what it says. This is a person who is there with a gun. Maybe you're part of like a scout sniper team. Maybe they're your Overwatch. But in this case, it's basically just like, she needs to be able to shoot things because you like to run at things.
Yeah, and so I just like to imagine like every time I add a template, it just adds like more to her character. I'm like, yes, and it's good. Like I enjoy. So I don't ever call her by name. She's just known as the XO because Jesus fucking Christ, she's scary. She has like her 4 quirks. Like I know I've mentioned this before. Her 4 quirks are sadistic, stalker, me, stunning beauty, and necrophobia. So she likes hurting people, but she does not like dead bodies. She really likes me, and I will betide any girl who might have interest. Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, and honestly, just calling her XO fits right into the, like, I think we've had this conversation where I talked to you guys, and I'm like, so I figured out you have I think your appropriate commanding flag officer, or your staff officer is a major general. I don't feel like you're going to meet him too much, so I'm not going to give him a name unless you think it's important. He's just going to be the major general. And everybody was kind of like, okay, he's the major general. Because, like, I'm sure you guys know his name, but for the feel we're going for, no, that's just the fucking major general. The major is the major. She has a name, and she has a whole backstory.
I actually don't. Fun fact, I don't actually know. I can't remember the actual major's name. I just know her as.
We've never said her name before. It's Sonja von Schulteis.
Yeah.
But we never say that. It's just like, if she comes into a scene, it's major.
Yep. Again, I enjoy that feel.
Most people call you by your rank. They either say captain, or if I'm remembering to roleplay correctly, they say Hauptmann. Before that, you were lieutenant. But yeah, so that's part of the feel. You guys are in a military unit. You got a lot of people under you. Most people, when they refer to you, they're just captain, CO, the boss.
No. It's like, Wolfgang's in middle management. So he can get things done, but there's still some things he can't do, and he's just like, I have to literally think about how I'm gonna pitch this, like, up the chain.
Luckily, I think there was a time recently where it was like you wanted to write a memo or get something done. I'm like, or no, I think it was you were trying to preface something to your new your new embedded reporter, your war correspondent. And you were just like, I was like, all right, roll me an appeal test. Do you have appeal? And like, fuck yeah, I have appeal. I'm a social character. I'm like, that's right, you are. You've built for this. Good for you. Because you have only turned into a murder machine through advancement. Your character started as an officer with very much an officer's bent.
Well, yeah, and then they started, like, because this is the fun fact. We started the game as the honor guard. Like, we're not supposed to be, like, going off doing weird-ass fucking missions. Then we start getting sent off doing weird-ass missions. I'm like, alright, shit needs to change right now.
Yeah, and a lot of that was because, well, one, I needed you guys to go out and do stuff, but also there was, some of it was just, okay, well, you're the honor guard, so you're stuck with the then captain. The captain says, we're going here and doing this, and you're like, okay, well, shit, we need to stick half our guys on the captain, and then the other half of our guys need to do stuff on the mission so nobody shoots our captain.
Yep.
And there's still probably, whatever line.
And then it's just like grip from there. It's all like, all right, now we've gotten real good at like taking objectives and not dying. So now they want us to keep doing this. And I'm like, great.
Yeah, you got fucking Dilbert principle.
We got fucking Harry. Yeah, we got fucking Harry Dresden as was. What's the reward for a job well done? More fucking work.
Yep. Oh, hey, you did the incredibly dangerous mission. Nobody thought you would survive, and you did it in a really creative way so that you got shot less. Well then, hey, guess what, bud? The Empire needs more of that can-do attitude. So for the fatherland, we're gonna need you to do more of that.
Yeah, welcome to World War One.
Yeah, it's a very part of the reason why I said it here, other than just heavily inspired by Tanya and kind of that feel, was just. This was one of the last wars like that, where you had stuff where, like, your officer would, stand up on the edge of the trench and say, okay, everybody, we're going over the top, and, like, he would be right there with you. Maybe he'd be a little bit behind you, but he wouldn't stay in the trench. Or, like, turn-of-the-century management. You guys are, naval officers, you're a boarding party. Well, guess what? Your CO, whether he's the lieutenant or the sergeant, he has to go on the boat fucking first. He has to get in there, boots first, for honor and glory and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And that really helps the feel of the game because it lets players do player character things without being like, dude, that's not fucking protocol. Like, it allows you to keep your military feel without necessarily getting too caught up in that, well, that's not quite realistic, because no. People did, quite frankly, dumb stuff at this time period. Like, there's stuff you shouldn't do. You shouldn't be doing some of those things. Some of those things you do because you're ordered, but some of them you do just because you're like, no, stiff upper lip and all that whatnot. We'll just, for king and country, and we'll just carry on. Oh my god, I've been shot by a machine gun.
Oh no.
That really fucking sucks. Well.
Time to armor the fuck up.
No, you got shot by regular rifle bullets, I think, before you were like, my body armor is useless. This vest does nothing.
Layers. More layers! More layers!
And technically, if we were like ultra realistic, there would be like, damage would fall off with range categories in addition to like the actual like accuracy, but I didn't want to get too deep in that. Other than certain effects like cone, where it's just like, yeah, your shit just spreads out so you do less damage. So, like, theoretically, an armor vest wouldn't stop a rifle bullet at close range anyway, but if you were, like, 1,000 yards or more away, then it might deflect off, wouldn't do as much, but that's not 100% categorized by the mechanics. But you can kind of do stuff to mitigate that, like cover helps sometimes if you're dug in. There's all kinds of stuff. But also, y'all are mages, and interestingly enough, when I was picking what abilities I wanted to be default that you get for free, one of them is you get a special bullet power because, like I said, I watched a lot of Tanya when I wrote this, and magic bullets are cool. So everybody gets a magic bullet power to kind of help define what your character does right away. It's tied to your elemental affinity. So you get a free spell in what you're good at. They train you that much. You can operate a mobility unit because the whole game is about being a mage who can fly or scoot fast or submarine or whatever. That's the whole feel we're going for here. And then the other thing fucking everybody can do, active barrier. You can spend your active defense action out of your turn to be like, no, don't hit me. and use magic for that. You don't have to be trained in evasion. You don't have to be good at, parrying shit. Everybody can be like, oh, I'm going to take my magic ability and I can apply it to not getting shot. And that was the one of the 3 defaults everybody has as a player character. And I'm like, yes, this is what I want. I want players to be able to defend themselves and not feel like they're getting their asses completely kicked. Like you've always got something that could be a decent chance at, okay, maybe you didn't train in spellcraft at start. I don't think any player has actually not done that, but you could choose not to. It's not a guarantee. But in that case, maybe you took evasion. Evasion's pretty cheap. I'm not really harshing anybody's buzz for not wanting to get shot. Because the game is designed that getting shot sucks. I'd have to like recalculate all my averages, but like how many wounds do you have right now?
Right now? Hang on, pull up.
What you
doing, bro?
What's your maximum wounds?
It's under 20, I'll tell you that right now. God damn it, I took Wolf Game Puck. What the fuck? Good job, me. This is what I get for using the Google search bar instead of the web address bar. Lucky's still a little bit intoxicated, although it's starting to fade real fast. Gain Schmidt. He has 18 wounds.
Alright, so...
I think I rolled like the lowest on the fucking luck, because I think I have like 5 points of luck.
Yeah, that's another fun mechanic that I stole from the Halo template this originally was, but everybody has loved that mechanic then and now. So it's like, you roll to generate what your starting luck is, which is your usual Fate of Moxa Will. It's your, massage the dice points. But to compensate for a low roll, you get more wounds. People who are unlucky tend to be tougher in life. Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody gets a little bit. So you get a lot of bonus wounds for having a low luck. But let me look at my weapon list. So what the standard damage of a... Actually, you're on your sheet. Well, you've probably got a special gun. So what... Do you have the default...
I have an automatic rifle with 1d10 plus 5.
Yeah.
That's also auto fire 4.
Yes, that could be multiple hits. So that could be you're dead.
Yeah. That is most things are dead. Because listen, this has mine is specifically built for AP ammo, which reminds me I need to buy another reload for that because
alright, so yeah, the default damage for most rifle sized weapons, the repeating rifle, it's 1d10 plus 4 with 4 pierce. So I think the average wounds for a person are like 14 or 15-ish is the actual, like, how well you work out. Actually, I can look at that. What's the starting wounds? It's right in the intro. Okay, so your starting wounds is 1d10 plus 10. So yeah, your average is 15. Man, and then you get bonus. Player characters get bonus wounds, but your average human has about 15 wounds. So, assuming nothing else happens to you, a rifle shot could graze you, or it could drop you down to very near dead, and you have to make a roll or you pass out. You take a bullet, you're done.
My combat's pretty fucking lethal. This is the main reason why I have layered. I will continue to layer the fuck up as.
Well, there is a somewhat beautiful thing in that there's a very real advantage where if you get below half your wounds in a single blow, you have to roll toughness or pass out from shock, basically, which is in a way a kind of a safety switch, because if you get shot really bad and you don't have to deal with dying right away, you could just pass the fuck out. And then you're like, well, I'm done. Now, it sucks because you're out of the session for a time being, but you're not dead right away because you passed out. And if you've been shot and fallen over on the ground, most people won't fuck with you. Which is actually codified now when talking about rules of war. You're not supposed to shoot at prisoners, injured people, people treating injured people, anybody without a gun. You're not supposed to shoot at them. So, now that doesn't mean that sometimes people don't shoot at those people. I'm being real here. But it's against the technical rules of war.
Because of the Q ships and stuff. We actually brought that up.
Yeah.
Yes, again, World War One, fascinating piece of history when you get down into it. Goddamn.
Yeah. A real... War sucks. Alright, it does. But sometimes you gotta do it. I think we've had this conversation on WhatsApp before, but
probably
that period was such a time of, like, trying so many new things. Like, not even just to kill people, but, like, radio and radar and radio detection. Lighting. Like flashlights and stuff. Just all kinds of technology. There was a lot of, for tunneling and stuff, there was a lot of air pumping that had to be figured out and all kinds of stuff. And it's like, rebreathers were experimented with in this time period, for some of the first time. And it's just like, there's so much technology that people are just trying to see if it'll do something because the war situation was such a stalemate. You know, we invented an entirely new type of warfare. Armored warfare exists because of this war and the trenches. And people were like, this front's not going anywhere. We're gonna be here for 1,000,000 years at this rate until literally every other guy in that country is dead. We got to figure out some way to break this. And, you know, tanks were part of that. Assault tactics were another. Artillery, lots of stuff. We'll see depending on what planes you guys pick and where you want to go, whether or not you ever run into a prototype tank. I'd love to have a prototype tank down here for you to deal with, but like I said, I don't know if you guys will ever be in a situation where you actually are on like the middle of an open field or something.
Again, we're also like literally at the south end of the ass of Africa.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, the Entente powers control the Suez Canal, so they have a little bit easier time of shipping down, but it's
honestly,
still, you got to go all the way to the
acid.
acid.
You actually mentioned this before. Like, if we actually do like stabilize this region, we might literally get sent like the fuck up north to go.
Yeah, if you guys actually stabilized or needed to get extracted, it would be like, well, you guys have done real good. You're expert at desert fighting. We'll probably send you to help our partisans fighting in North Africa. Because North Africa is entirely Entente. It's either British or French controlled, I think. But hey, guess what?
Yeah.
I think I said this. I don't know if that's.
Who knows?
I don't know if it matters necessarily for this conflict. I haven't figured out if that sort of thing would actually happen. But the Ottomans, the Turks, you know, declared jihad, which was the thing that happened back then. That's not just a modernism. You know, declared a jihad against the French and British settlers in North Africa, and the Germans and the Austrians, you know, lended support and materials and observers and stuff to fight rebellions because they were like, hey, we're tired of you Anglos fucking up our country. Get out of here. And it didn't work because the guy supporting them lost. Because Germany's in a really bad situation to start those wars. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting like tactical stuff, and it was a legit world war. Like, not even with like some of my stuff to make it more like I've deliberately written. I don't know if people are familiar with the Zimmerman telegram, but there was a telegram to Mexico basically telling them to throw in for the Germans, and the Germany would support them through unrestricted U-boat warfare and material support, and if they wanted to say take back some of the holdings they lost to the U.S. because Germany was very concerned about the U.S. actually pitching in, which was ironic because the Zimmerman telegram is, as far as I can understand, basically the reason why we got into the war, because it was confirmation that the Germans weren't going to knock that U-boat shit off, and we were like, all right, well, we're done then. We're done with this situation. And that's when we decided to go over there, because that's the thing that got us out of our like, if not a century, our like decade of isolationism was like, well, the Germans keep blowing up our boats, and they won't knock it off even if they're flagged as Americans, so we probably should do something to make them knock it off. But yeah, so technically the Zimmerman telegram played out a different way in this setting, the equivalent, which is going to be that they're in a little bit busy with some constitutional stuff right now, but technically there might actually be skirmishes on the federal states Azteca border, where you can actually like do some fighting in the New World, or you know. But I was looking up naval disasters and like actual sunk ships or ships that might be places. And, you know, there were ships sunk off Argentina and the Falklands. You know, German ships fighting British ships off South America, which got shot up. So, like, this war was everywhere. Which also works great for a game setting, because you can literally pick anywhere and figure out a way to make it work. That's what I did here. I was like, okay, you're fighting in a desert. It's summery. It's dry. There's not a lot of stuff going on. There's some German holdings in Africa, right? I know there was some African fighting. Oh. And then you guys ended up in Namibia, where at the time period it kind of sucks.
Yeah. How long have we been going just about Tabletop here?
Just about Tabletop? I want to say probably 45 minutes. We're at about an hour 30 overall. I think we started doing this at a good steam at about 45 minutes.
Yep.
I know for sure that basically 30 minutes ago we said, oh, we don't have much to talk about Tabletop. Let's talk about gacha. And then we did.
Yeah, we're good at this, but I feel like it is actually about appropriate time to shift fucking gears.
Yeah, we've shilled hard enough for Mages of War. Watch our shit.
It's good!
It's also edited so like you don't have to deal with like the really long pauses when shit doesn't work, or somebody didn't hear somebody, or we're doing math. The god of the math.
But, like I said, we're gonna take this over to gacha games. Real quick, Girls Frontline, I got UMP 40, so I'm done fucking farming crates. I'm done. Like, I'm done with
Cool.
that.
I really should put more effort into map farming for drops, because I want PSG 1, but it's so dull. It hurts. I can't.
It is, like right now, I'm literally, like, trying just to build up resources so I can go, balls to the wall on 3-4. Pepper is with me on this of just like we really don't want to do 3-4 because let me.
I saw a picture of 3-4, and there was a subtitle which was like "Enter the Ring of Death. The only way out is to kill everybody." I'm like, oh my god, that sounds like it sucks.
Okay, no, see, no. The Ring of Death is not the most study part. Okay, so let me explain 3-4 to you real quick. So again, this is during the deep dive special event in Girls Frontline that's going on right now. It probably gets a few days left. So 3-4 is the final map. You have to do it 4 times. Which is honestly better than previous events where you have to do shit like 10 to 12 times. So I'm like, okay, they learned that fucking lesson. They turned that on the fucking head by making it hard as dicks. So, first off, it's a hostage rescue mission. So, there are 4 hostages, and you have to rescue 2 of them. Okay? You start off at a command point that only has a one-way exit. So basically, once you leave that command center, you're not getting back unless you have some fucking tricks up your sleeve. Like, usually like a ferry. And if you have a hostage, I would just fucking forget about it. The only heliport on this map is in the fucking Circle of Death. Now, the Circle of Death is something that's at the northern end of the map. I think it's like 6 to 8 nodes. Me taken already. All one-way maps, so it just goes in a fucking circle. With 3 points that lead into the center heliport. Guess where the fucking boss is? In this Ring of Death are several red beings just walking around in a fucking circle. Oh, that's just that. So this is again like, so I do appreciate that they did I think it was a 3-3. No, a 3-2 where you actually they had these circling beams again because you understand what you have to do to capture that fucking node. So, they prefaced a mechanic that they're going to use later with something before. It still fucking sucks. Because, here's the thing. This is, like all this stuff doesn't bother me. This is what bothers me about 3-4. For the 4 hostage situations, they're all on one-way tracks, and they all kind of have a fucking timer on them, because they all have 1 health. So, in one of the hostage situations, because they're basically set out in, for the 4 corners of the map, one of the hostages has no enemy. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fucking safe. You don't have to worry about it. You can take your time. The second one has a boss dog coming after it. Those fucking manageable. It's a little hard, but it makes do. The other 2 have a fucking red bean going after them. So basically, when you get to this map, you're on a fucking timer to locate the 2 hostages that you can conceivably grab and then rush them to go fight a fucking boss. Now, here's my additional problems with this. 1, there are 2 types of mobs that you'll just find generally around the, one is an arbor mob, which is nothing special, you just deal them. The second is a tank and sniper mob, which is super, super rough. How the tank and sniper mob works is, all those snipers are gonna shoot your fucking, tank immediately. And take them down to, half health. Well, I should say, this is the case with me. This is the problem I'm having right now. It's I can't, all throughout this map, all throughout this camp, this event, I've been able to, my echelons have been able to, take a few fights before, doing the big one. I can't do that this time. If I run into, a single one of these tank sniper squads, I honestly can't feel like I can do anything else. To be fair, I actually haven't fought any of the bosses yet because, honestly, I keep losing before I get to that point. Just because, as I said, you only get, I think it's 4 or 5 turns for the before the beans and doggo get to the damn hostages and take them out. Because once you lose 3 hostages, you just can't win. You can only have 2 echelons in this map total. That's it. That's all you get. So if you want to, I haven't cracked the code on this map yet. Like, I haven't. I'm still working on it. So either you have to grab 1 echelon and then somehow get to the 2 locations that you can get within these few turns, or you have to go out and spend 2 echelons and split your attention and try to get to these 2 echelons before they get got. And then after you do that, you have to go and take this into the circle of death and fight the fucking boss, while you each have a hostage. Now, if you both have a hostage, you can't lose. If you lose the hostage, and the fucking mission's over. Like, this map is literally ridiculous amounts of fuckery. Like, there are more ways for you to fucking lose than there are to succeed. Too long, the hostages die. If you have a hostage and you lose an echelon, you fucking lose. If you can't beat the boss, you lose. You only have so many turns. You have like 9 turns. You lose. You run into a fucking red bean. You lose. You get caught by a fucking random ass tank sniper echelon. You will lose. This is again like, if the game I mentioned this before. I like all these nifty new things they do in Girls Frontline. I really do. I like the one-way paths. I like the supply lines. I like the hostages. I like the beans. You know, I like night maps. I like all this stuff. The problem is they're putting too many fucking of these gimmicks into one pot and then telling you to make do with it. It's like, if they just taken out fucking night, this would have been tough, but it would have been hard still, but not ridiculous. I wouldn't have fucking accuracy penalties, and I would have line of sight, which means I would be able to plan a little bit better. But like all this, oh my god, like this is like just too much stuff for. Again, I'm glad I only have to do it 4 times. I'm not sure I'm gonna even be able to get it that 4 times because I did get my UMP 40. Like literally the only reason I have to beat this last map is because I want the ending of the fucking story. Like, I know some people aren't as interested in the fucking story, but I am. Like, before I started Deep Dive, I went through and I powered through all of the story chapters, including the emergency chapters, just so I knew what was going on. And interesting enough, yeah, I actually do know what's going on in the story right now. So I'm like, shit, how does this end? So I'm just like, So Girls Frontline's a lot of fun, as fucking usual.
Yeah. By the way, you've been roboting a little bit there. I'm pretty sure on my end it's still legible, but it sounded a little funky, so hold on. We're gonna, pause recording and, reset on Discord and see if that clears up some of that nonsense. Alright. Lucky sounds okay now. I think I sound okay. So we're good.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. But, yeah, so, I said, I've been putting off Girls Frontline for a couple days, because as I said, now that I got UMP 40, I don't feel the urge to spend,
yeah, I feel the same way. You know, I'm done with the maps that drop units, and I got UMP 40, and I'm like, I really should farm for these old event drops, because I actually want these units, but god, farming for unit drops it's sucky. Like, I was astonished when, in the one that would give you OTS and PSG1 and all that,
someone actually got their OTS drop. I was like, oh shit.
Well, there's that. But there is, that they had a Tito that was on drop there who was like a rifle, a G or something. I don't remember which gun it was, but I actually got that one. I was like super shocked. Apparently that was a pretty easy drop. Most drops in Girls Frontline suck. They are. Yeah. Like, you think Fox Mines and shit are bad. Like, this is just as bad, if not worse. It's almost impossible to get these drops casually. Unless they decide you can. So I'm like, I really should do 1-2 or 1-3 over and over again to get something, but I just can't summon up the wherewithal to do it because it's really boring. And unfortunately... Well, with Girls Frontline, sometimes you can set up planning mode and you can kind of autopilot it, but a lot of these you can't do that. Like, you can't maintain a supply line with planning mode. That doesn't work because you actually need to go to every single fucking node and capture them and set up the supply line and defend it. You can't pre-plan that. You have to actually move methodically and tap the buttons to end the turn right and capture those squares. So.
Yeah, farming crates you can do on planning mode, because that's what I did. I was good at it.
Oh yeah, no, that's easy. That's pretty simple. But actually completing maps cannot always be done that way, so it's it's real hard to automate this. Even if I wanted to do 1-2 and rotate that one really fast, that still take some positioning to like get it done quickly. Like the quickest way you have to do it, you have to like manually tap on units to swap with them and stuff.
Hey, Meg, apparently they're saying that you are a bit of a robot right now.
Am I? Do you not hear me okay?
You're a little bit of a robot, but I can understand you.
You're a little choppy to me, but it's a little bit. I don't know. We'll see if it evens up. The recording, as always, everybody, is perfectly okay on my end, and Lucky sounds okay to me. So hopefully it sticks together. It clears up. If not, you may have to catch the MP3 version. But yeah, so that's Girls Frontline. We spent about 15 minutes about that. Good ramble, Lucky. Good rant.
Good ramble. Good job, me. But real talk, I'm telling you right now, Girls Frontline is not the important gacha in our life right now. It is motherfucking Azur Lane.
Yeah, so I mentioned this earlier, but I was going to joke that this was going to be a meeting of the Built Hood while trying to get Bismarck Club. But
fun fact, I did actually build a hood, but this was after I got a Bismarck, so I don't know if it counts.
There's definitely some stealth hood raid up going on.
Yeah.
But
and I actually mentioned this. It's actually very ironic because again, World War One, actual battles. Bismarck actually did sink Hood.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was engaged. That's how the tutorial ends, actually.
Yeah.
Which is how people knew what Bismarck's design was for forever.
Yeah, and
but then last night I'm on my second 10 spin. I'm like, fucking get it all out of the way, and because I got a new daily, and it's like I have like 200 auto completers. Sometimes I don't use them because I'm just like, I don't want to know right now. I don't want to deal with the fact that I didn't build a ship right now, kind of thing. So sometimes I'll leave the timers just to tick down, and like if I'm going to bed or something, or I'm not coming back to it for a while. But I was just like, build them all, and I'm like, oh shit, a gold. Yes, it's Bismarck. Boom. I took a screenshot and I posted it to our Discord with the caption "Victory at Sea," and I'm like, all right, got that out of the way.
Really?
I also have like 50 million copies of Echo. Holy shit.
Yeah, I got a lot of Echo and Sussex here. Jesus fucking Christ. Also, real talk. On the Azur Lane Twitter, they actually had like a promo for the event and a whole bunch of Bismarck lines, and I'm like, oh my god, Bismarck's actually a fucking precious. Holy shit, I was not prepared.
Bismarck's pretty cool. I'm seeing that from the story and stuff.
Yeah. Especially like after you see her interactions with did you see her interactions with U-556? Was it U-556?
Not necessarily. I don't think I've seen that yet.
Actually,
I'm still in the A part.
Hang on. I actually took a screenshot of it because I was like, oh my god, I am fucking dead. Hang on.
Who did I build? Also, I'm looking at that. I think, was it Z36 or U... I think it was U73.
Alright, okay, I'm posting this in the Patreon chat.
Okay. No, I have not seen this yet.
Bismarck, basically, U-556 asks for Bismarck's blessing, and the next day, Bismarck comes out with a fucking Manju band and says, alright, I'm gonna give you this fucking blessing with this whole fucking orchestra and shit. I'm like, I'm fucking done. Bismarck. Oh my god, where have you been all my life?
Yeah, Bismarck's pretty great. I've seen a couple of her lines, so she's your usual hard ass you'd expect. But,
it's funny, she actually says when she only speaks that way because that's how she's supposed to act when she puts on the uniform.
Right, but also I also think she has issues with other people respecting her authority, because one of her lines is, "Don't follow." And shit, I gotta play it again because you had this conversation about Prince's pronunciation. The way the Japanese voice actress says it is not exactly what Google says the pronunciation is, but it's much more manageable. So check Bismarck's lines for like how you are quote unquote supposed to say. You can. It's like she says it like Ian.
Yes,
it's a little bit more Vietnamese, I think, than German sounding, but she does a pretty good pronunciation on the letters. But cool. That's her line is like, "Don't follow that one, follow me," and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You got a thing. Also, I want to say from both this splash art and also another thing that was posted on it's number one in Art Dump right now with Tirpitz instead seeing that lovely submarine. I've realized. Goddamn, Ironblood girls, your skirts are short.
Yeah, they are.
Those are very, very short skirts. But speaking of stuff, I was going to say that I think like my level of appreciation for Ironblood goes, Graph is at the top. I love Graph a lot because she's a tryhard. And we've talked about that before. And I think I'm going to put Bismarck under Graph, but slightly above Tirpitz. Because Tirpitz definitely has that kind of like lonely Ice Queen, woe is me kind of thing going on in some of it, and I'm like, you gotta stick up for yourself a little bit, girl. Bismarck has that stick-to-itedness, and Lucky has quoted a lot of Wikipedia.
Yeah. No, it's the thing about between Bismarck and U-556 is actually real.
Yeah,
the
so
Apache
I'm
helicopter
going to
was
continue to
flying
do dailies because I definitely have not done 556 yet. I haven't got her, so I'm going to keep trying.
I
'cause
got a
want more
556
subs.
now, and I am super happy because
Nice. And I have to double check who, because I built one of them. I'm pretty sure it was U-73. Was the one I built, but it could have been Z-36. So I'll have to actually fucking, I got my phone right here. I really need to plug it in and charge it up because I was doing other stuff. But I'll fucking boot up AL right now and I'll see who I got. Because if it is submarines, I need to go ahead and pop them in my my subslot team, and possibly my dorm.
I've almost got one of my submarines to level 100, and I'm literally gonna immediately swap it out for another sub. I mean, for another German sub.
Yes, subs. I don't think either of us have quite gotten to the point on King George V yet, though we want to because that's like super high level Britain. I feel like they did some stuff there when they deliberately chose Ayako Kawasui to do King George V's voice. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I honestly feel like they did. They're like,
Also, by the way, here's another fun fact that was actually reported to us. Speaking of King George V, let me read you. I'll read for you in the audience her second skill. Glory of the Sun Which Never Sets, which states, increased damage dealt to Sakura Empire, Iron Blood, Siren, and Sardinia forces by 4% to 10%. I wonder who that fourth faction is in there.
By the way, Sardinia is definitely an Italian colony.
It's an Italian island, so it's the fucking high ties. I said, yeah, it's pizza pizza time, mamma mia.
Yeah, we definitely got a little racist in our gacha chat there at that.
Italians are white. You can't be racist against them. That's okay. The Italians are. Listen, I'm super Anglo. We've been doing this for hundreds of years.
But well, Apache Helicopter, you are free to leave this fucking chat if you want.
And honestly, I'm sure that people have been like, oh, what ships are they going to bring? We're not going to go overly speculating on it, but because we're talking about Azur Lane, we want to mention that one of our community members actually caught that and told it to us, and it's right there. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a neato thing because we've actually discussed on the show. I wonder where the Italian Navy is. They've got some ships. They could do some interesting stuff. They got some kills. You know, we can have some interesting history stuff.
And so, actually, speaking of skills, actually one of Bismarck's skills actually caught my attention. Especially specifically when you pair her with tear pits. Let me bring it up here. So,
is there a thing to pair her with tear pits? I hadn't really looked at it.
Yeah. Let me read it out for you here real quick here. Let me pull it up. So, third skill is Will of the Iron Blood. Increases the main gun, torpedo, and airstrike crit rates of all your Iron Blood ships by 4%, and increases the reload by 4.5%, and increases tear pits damage by 20%. All of the numerical values are upgradable. Okay?
So that's 20% to 40%. Hey, Lucky, since you mentioned that, let me solve this problem for the audience, because I'm looking right at it. Let me tell you what Lone Queen of the North, Tear Pit skill does. If sorted without other battleships or battlecruisers, increases her own damage by 10%.
So basically, Bismarck's skill negates Lone Queen of the North and still put something a bit better on top of that.
Mm-hmm. Also, Lucky, you're really garbling, so.
Well, you too. So
all right, hold on, audience. We're gonna pause the episode and we're gonna switch some stuff around.
Okay.
All right, sorry guys, we had to journey to the west real quick. We were in the south. We had to leave. We had to get out. But yeah, so hopefully that came through okay. But basically, what Lucky was saying was that Tear Pits is normally kind of a pain in the ass to field because one of her skills is all about making her better if there are no other battleships, which means if you're trying to do like combos and stuff, that's really annoying because there aren't a lot of Iron Blood carriers. There are literally 2 right now, and they're the same girl basically.
They are.
With this, you can, if you put Bismarck in and you upgrade her enough to get her third skill, you can actually put her in, and her bonus will take care of the fact that Tear Pits doesn't get her bonus, which means I can now run the Bismarck, Graf, and Tear Pits Dream Team. I'm going to have to start leveling Tear Pits in earnest because I was kind of lackluster on her, but that's all right. I'll go all in.
You see, here's the crazy thing. Her second skill, Unwavering Strength, When this ship fires a salvo while sorted as the flagship, 40% chance to fire a special barrage. Also increases the damage of all your Iron Blood characters by 10%.
Yeah. No, Bismarck is good.
It's like,
so
no, Bismarck, yes, she is your flag. She is your Iron Blood
also,
flagship.
here's what her first skill
Plain
does.
and
It's called
fucking
Water
simple.
Height. When firing the main gun, the first salvo is guaranteed to critical hit. And it decreases your damage, but it increases the range and detection on her secondary guns too. So she will shoot at shit approaching your backline farther out. Like, goddamn. She is a good ship. It's kind of interesting that they downgraded her. She was data mined as a rainbow before,
Yeah,
and she's only
like-
SR now, but she's still a real good ship. A big centerpiece if you want to do a Ironblood fleet, which I have one. I've got a fully leveled, not quite double cognition upgraded, but she's like 104 graph. And previously I was using Scharnhorst and Guinnessau. There's too many N's in that girl's name.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Gnarly. But they're doing okay, but they are still only purple. I might retire them from active service and slot in Bismarck and Tirpitz to fucking flex.
Yeah, like, as I've been leveling, like, my Zeppy's, like, level 93. Once she hits level 100, I might not, like, hold on to her, because...
And
I don't know.
I didn't get Zeppy. I'm actually glad Azur turned around for me, but the last couple of event builds really fucked me over. So I was like super concerned about my cubes, but it worked out okay. It only took me 2 10 pulls, 40 cubes.
I'm trying to get one more ship out of the damn event. That's the other.
Yeah, I want to build 556 if she's not really she's only construction. Okay,
556 is kind of fucking precious. I'm like, goddamn. I need U73. That's like the only one I need right now.
Yeah, like I said, I think. Oh fuck, I got my phone out. Technically our technical difficulties distracted me, but I got distracted from looking at my ships. Let's see, which one did I build? Oh, dock of mine.
How many cubes do I have left? I just want to build on here. I have 20. Well, if I use my I have 21 cubes. I was thinking that I'd just do a 10 pull now, but wait, no, then I wouldn't have enough for tomorrow because this is an event.
Sort by time, is that right? Since everything in my fucking fleets.
done.
Yeah, I did build 73. Okay.
Damn you!
So I have not built Z36 or U556 yet.
Yeah, I do have those though.
And like I said, when I built Bismarck, that 10 pull was also like 5 fucking echoes.
Let's see. Oh, my I-58, which is one of the Sakura ship submarines, is level 99. So as soon as she gets done, fucking U556 is going in there. I don't care if she's like level 10 or whatever. It's like actually,
yeah, my submarine fleet's not on point at all. It's I-58, who I think is like one of the easiest ones you can get, and then I have Dace, and then
I think
got
I-58 is the one they give you.
Yeah, that's what I'm right. Like she's free, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then I've got Dace, and then like now I have U73.
Oh, One Fat Panda actually mentions a good point here. The problem I'm going to have with this event is there are a couple items in here which have really crazy unlocking requirements. So, there are 2 special items. Hang on, let me pull them up here on the events. That is not the event box I wanted. God damn it. Wrong event box.
While I'm thinking about it, I should look at my dorm.
Okay, here it is. There's 2 achievements. One you get from basically fully level breaking all the event ships. So basically you got to fully level break Bismarck, King George V, U556, Z36, U73, and Echo.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. That means you basically gotta get them all to level 70 and, throw fucking bullets at them until they're fully flexed.
Well, luckily I've got I've got at least 1 gold bullet sitting and a couple purpose.
The other one is you have to basically, let's see here, collect all the fucking all the new items of the heck, I'm trying to think of the damn term of the Iron Blood dorm set, which is really, really rad.
It costs like the one-time buy to get like 1 of everything is like 3,000 coins.
Yeah.
Which, hey, spoiler alert, I don't have 3,000 coins. I got like 500 because I did the one tap purchase for the Kizuna Eye set. Which is cool, but I
Yeah.
switched back to the my old Iron Blood bar.
Yeah, like
set.
honestly, like I could have lived without the fucking. It's one of those hindsight's 2020 thing. I could have lived without the Kids in the Eye set if I had known that there's a fucking not tear pits, Bismarck flavored Dorm.
Well, sure,
cup, I would've been
Bismarck
like,
House is cool,
yeah, it's like god damn it, Kids in the Eye.
but at the same time, the Kids in the Eye thing's like probably not coming back.
who knows?
So like a lot of people have been talking about how collabs don't really get redone. So like, that's a thing that works. But anyway, I've just I've fed up my girls. I've filled them with food, and we're on curries, by the way, right now because I can buy that with oil. And I just slotted U70 in there.
As I said, like also because of the new. Oh yeah, shit, we didn't actually mention this.
Well, yeah, we were going to talk about the new we mentioned earlier the new mechanic system there because there's a sub event.
Yeah, there's a sub. It's not only that. Azur Lane, surprising the worldwide, gave their global version their new UI update. At the same time, they basically went live with it over overseas.
Yeah, everybody got the there was a little bit of delay for bugs because I think it was rolled out to China and Japan first, but there were bugs, so ours got delayed to fix them. But
yeah, it was supposed to be like a simultaneous release kind of thing, but it's pretty fucking nice.
yeah,
it takes
it's
some
real
getting
rad.
used to. It takes some getting used to. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's font changes and screens are different. But overall, I'm like, no, yeah, I can get used to this. I like this.
Yeah, I think they fixed a couple of my like minor. You still have to hit confirm on to end the battle screen, but I think they like did some stuff under the hood, so it's more optimized, so it runs through those screens quicker, so it's not as much of a slowdown.
Mm-hmm.
You can do stuff like if you're in a ship, girls. Profiling your docs, you can jump to archive and you can look at her lines and stats and stuff, which is really good. That was kind of a pain in the butt to do before.
Oh, here's one that I actually really enjoyed. When you have a full doc now, instead of just having expand and retire, now they actually also have the option for enhance.
Yeah, you can jump to enhance, which is cool.
That's that one I'm super like right now. I will enhance.
Also, when you do daily missions, collect all is there now. When you do any missions,
nice.
actually, you can collect all. Research is now in the same slot as commissions and skill training. Those are all like one side tab, so you can access your stuff all right away. Like, it's super streamlined. I love it a lot. I had to re-download my app to put it in because, goddamn, it was big.
Yeah, wasn't it like a 2-point-something gig update?
It was like 1.5, I think, was the total update size. So it was a big one. The compressed size of the app is still about the same. But still, it's a big deal. Oh, that reminds me. People are talking about Colin. She got a fucking
she got a
retrofit. I should work on that. I like her. She's cool. I'm probably not
That's
going to put her in my
I'm
fucking
lucky,
fleet because, my Iron Blood Frontline's really good. I got, I can never remember the starter destroyer. I literally can't.
Z-23,
23.
also known as Zed.
Yeah, but do people? They're all Z. The goddamn lazy ass Nazis with their fucking numbers.
Excuse me, this is World War I. Nazis did not exist.
No, this is
Correct
2.
yourself.
This is 2, bub. These are all Nazi ships. This is based off World War II naval history.
Oh, that God! Why am I getting that mixed up?
Because we talked for like half an hour or like 45 minutes about World War I.
That's probably why then. Lucky apologizes.
But yeah, so I think it was the thing where Hitler was concerned that people would think that people ships were named after were cooler than him or something. So it didn't happen a lot. But all the destroyers have like generic ass serial numbers, so it's hard to remember. Like if I said Z, would people really know which one I meant? But yeah, it's 23, the starter ship. I've got her fully retrofitted, so she's gold. She's like level 100. I have Prince, who is cognition broke. She's like level 103 or 104. Been one of my MVPs for the longest time. And then just because I don't think I have anybody better off the top of my head, Admiral Hipper's in there. She's about level 90 right now. Because I like Hip. She's funny.
Admiral Hipper's actually better than mine.
I had to drag Hipper a few places, but I put in the work to actually go with her because I like Hipper. She's a classic Sun.
You see, like, my Iron Blood frontline right now is Prince, I don't know how to fucking pronounce this. Is it like Leipzig?
I think it's Leipzig. Yeah.
Leipzig? Okay, Leipzig and Hipper, because I'm working on Rune right now. It's slow going, but I'm slow.
Yeah, I'm still a little. I need to actually double
Apache
check.
Helicopter, just because you type it in chat isn't gonna tell me how to fucking pronounce it.
Yeah, we had that problem before. We know how it's spelled. How does that PZ work? Is it Leipzig?
Leipzig. Well, anyway, she's basically the rare you get if you max limit break the 3 teacher Ironblood ships.
Yeah, the commons.
Yeah, and I've had her for a while, but I haven't really put a lot of use into her because I've been using other ships. Then I realized she actually Leipzig has a skill that basically Leipzig.
Leipzig? Okay.
Leipzig? The Apache Helicopter is actually like pronounced.
But yeah, she's trying to break it down. I think it's Leipzig.
The P
is
isn't loud, so it's Leipzig?
So it's not a hard sig. Not a hard P.
Ugh.
Language. We can speak English good. That's
Yeah.
a lie. We don't. We're sorry. We know this.
But while she is
I
a
remember
precious
that
creature,
we mentioned talking about L5 earlier. I remember that I got a comment on L5 Rodeo where like, oh, your pronunciation isn't quite right. I said in a later video, I'm like, listen, I'll try to do my best, but I don't always speak English good. So speaking fake
English
Japanese
good, so
doesn't work
me...
better.
Yeah. But I learned that let's see, Leipzig has a skill which basically just gives cruisers buffs. I'm all like, no, that's actually real good. Let me stick you in front with Prince and Admiral Hipper, and you can make sexual fainting noises and make me feel uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that. What's what?
Hang on. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find some of these. Hang on.
What triggers these particular sounds?
Hang on.
Well, I've told you before. The problem with IPA is that.
Okay. Here's one. Sexual fainting noises.
That's a lot of breathing. It's very breathy. Shit, I need to do research. What am I doing here?
Like, she's a pretty precious girl, but it's like, god damn it.
Oh, fuck, I was already in research. I should look at how I'm doing on Monarch. Yeah, I bet. Let's see. I'm working on Monarch. I've got everything with the XPs done. Combat. The first combat data is about 44%. And that's mostly because, unfortunately, while it is very easy for my Royal Navy fleet team to do, there's not necessarily a lot of EXP doing the event right now. But I'm trying. Oh, Lord, he trying. And after that, I don't know. I probably should have stuck with my gut and started with St. Louis, but I'm all in Monarch now, so we'll ride that one out. There's no point in not when I'm working on the EXP. And then at some point I'm pretty sure, like I said, I can do Rune because I got all the ships that are in her strike zone. So
yeah, as I said, I'm working on Rune. I'm not like hardcore like others in our Discord, because there are people.
Yeah, some people have no life.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I'm not gonna give them shit for that.
Because, hey, no, I'm just repeating what they told me. So
yeah,
they're being self-effacing.
But yeah, they've already I know a couple people have already knocked out a couple. I'm still in my fucking first million. I've had let's see what here. I'm only 28% of the way done through my first million. I still got 3 million after this to do. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, so I'm doing better as far as.
I'm not entirely sure what people are doing to. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something that's hard because is there a trick to earning EXP here besides obviously put them in your slots, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, because I take my Ironblood fleet hecking everywhere now.
Yeah, it's the same with my Royal Navy fleet. Like I deliberately reorganized my fleet to build it so my backline is QE, Warspite, Hood. Like I'm bringing the big guns, boys. And I listen. I have guns to fucking spare. If I had more goddamn fleet slots, I would have even more fleets. I got backups for my backups, guys.
I'm actually considering canning my Eagle fleet and just making another Ironblood fleet.
I don't know if you got enough. You shoot for that.
I mean, no, I do. I have enough to make a second Ironblood fleet, especially if I get Bismarck up and going.
Well, do you have enough cruisers to make it matter, though? Is kind of what I'm getting at.
I feel because the commons are all cruisers too.
Oh yeah, that's
And
true.
all those common cruisers, they're like level like 90 something right now.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You've done your work. You'll be okay then.
Well,
I'm
as I
looking
said,
for it.
like the reason like I'm going all in with Ironblood is because one of the new things that they did for the new UI update is now there's a new screen, which is basically a metal screen. So
Right,
you know,
I'm trying to figure out where I access that right now. I'm like, which tab in this thing is this?
Go to your the headquarters.
That's right. It's in the center of headquarters.
Yeah. Go Academy, that's what it was. Headquarters Academy in the center medallion. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
they reworked some tabs, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in my
Yeah, so
medallion in the
there's a
center.
metal at the very end called the Ironblood Adamant Metal, which basically means let's see, what's the description they have for it? Hang on. For the sake of the comrades in the Ironblood, awarded those who have become a pillar of strength. And all these metals have requirements now, and the one for the Ironblood one is reach 2,000 affinity with Ironblood ships, reach a level 120 with at least 12 different Ironblood ships, and earn at least 2 million experience with Ironblood ships. It's hoopty. Let me just say, it's hoopty.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I'm working on it.
working on some of my stuff.
So
Also, by the way,
like,
you
basically
can't
at this
do that
point-
right now. Just so you know.
no,
'cause-
we literally can't.
yeah, this was one thing that
But
was
I would
weird.
like
That
to
was weird about the global update was like, oh shit, we literally can't go to level 120 yet.
But I would like to get as many of them to 110 as I can. Just so whenever we do get that update, which I do know will be coming eventually, I'll just be like, no, we ready. We go, yo. As I said, like, I really like the Ironblood fleet. Like, their aesthetic and their personalities. It's just like, no, I dig this. This event, as I said, we got a new Ironblood event. It's actually being told from the perspective of Bismarck right after she sank Hood, or put Hood out of commission.
Yeah,
And,
they soften it up if like they're like, oh, Hood's in the hospital. She's gonna get some tea and she's gonna get some cucumbers over her eyes. She's gonna be fine. Don't worry about her. We definitely didn't kill her.
Even though in like the first one of the first loading screens is Hood literally
Hood sinking, and also that's like I said, that's the end of the tutorial. The end of the tutorial is, oh, we're gonna get that Bismarck. Oh shit, Hood got shot.
Yeah, Hood down. Well, let's see. The Apache helicopter says that the perfect flag I would have used for Rune is Lessig, the Dutchland Spree, with car clone with a 0 low and brake monitor at the back. It can clear 8-4 consistently and easily. I might look into that.
Let's see. So what medals do I have? I have the Naval Service Medal.
Shit, now we gotta compare medals. Who gets more
Well,
excel?
I have 2 layers of Naval Service Medal, so I'm up there. That's neat. I have. Oh, I can collect the Naval Flex Medal. Flex.
I am super happy that they call it the Flex Medal. I don't even know what the Flex stands for because it's clearly
Field
an
Leader
abbreviation.
Excellence. It's right there.
Where?
It's in the description. Seriously, it says, to the commander whose dedication and wisdom has earned the loyalty of many, we award the Fleet Leader Excellence Medal.
Oh, there
Flex.
it is.
That's pretty adorable.
I want to give anyone who decided that a fucking high five.
And I also have one tier of the Rose Vow Award, which is acquire lots of affinity. And I have the Renovation, some of the Renovation, which is tokens.
Alright, so just because I'm going to get my flex on, I have the second tier of the Renovation, second tier of the Naval Service, second tier of the Rose Vow Award, second tier of the Naval Flex. Let's see here. The Rose Vow Awards is to the person who cares about those serving them not just as ships, but as people. Requirements are 100 plus affinity. Yeah, and I'm working on my third tier of that, which is 50 total. I'm at 28. I love my girls, and my girls love me. This is how Lucky rolls.
So I think we kind of whiffed on it earlier. We talked around it, but the reason why 556 is kind of out there is because she has a little mini game. We talked about how there's a little mini sub thing.
Oh yeah, it's kind of
which
fun. Also
actually
kind of
has
scary.
a different mechanics. You get playable subs. They're not just hanging out underwater or doing stuff on the map, fucking around. It's
so
a
basically
little.
you're just given a little like a little shooter mini game where you basically have to guide U-556 through a bunch of mines and ships. You're given a limited amount of torpedo. You have the ability to rise and surface and to make a little bit of a dash.
Yeah,
The
you have
crazy
a
thing
sub
is-
dash and you have surface and submerge, which is tied to your oxygen meter, which is a thing subs have.
So what the great thing about it is U556 is very squishy. If she's exposed for more than a few moments, she's just fucking done.
Well, yeah, and also because when you're on the surface, if the cruisers, the destroyers or whatever, I think they are actually, they're the smallest model. If they see you and they've got like little stealth bars and stuff that go up, and they got like, I assume the little ring is like a sonar ring. If you surface and they see you, which they do pretty quick, they shoot at you lots, and there's usually lanes in them, so you'll get fucking blown up.
Mm-hmm.
If you're underwater and they see you, they kind of throw depth charges at you, which hurt you a decent amount, but they're slower and you can kind of dodge them. They got a little bit of AoE, but you can kind of avoid them. So you want to be submerged most of the time. You can blow them up with torpedoes, but to get the best rank, you have to get to the end, where there's usually a treasure ship, and blow it up. And if you don't have enough torpedoes to blow it up, you get a shitty rank and you don't finish the mission. You got to do it again.
Cry.
So yeah, it's fun though. It's definitely a departure, and like some of it's a little rocky. Like I feel like, unlike my regular ships, 556 is like all over the place. Like she weebles and wobbles a lot on the fake joystick.
See, this is the problem I have with Azur Lane a lot. If you push too far forward, you don't go continuously forward, the game slingshots you back. And
Yeah, when you hit the front edge, you boing right back.
Yeah, you boing back, and I don't like that because sometimes like you go back like way further and just.
Well, yeah, because you like you said, you slingshot a rubber band. Like if you sub dash and you dash all the way out past the screen, you physically go further across the middle and push the screen up, but then you bounce back pretty hard. As opposed to like a hard stop, like an invisible wall.
Yeah. So like once in a while, like that line escapes me. I'm just like, oh shit. Now I have to like, get myself back under control while I'm like stuck. Because like moving back and forth like really doesn't matter if that like all you go. Like all you have to really worry about is moving up or down. So I'm just like, I don't know.
But also, I feel like she's a little sensitively wobbly because like her torpedoes will like you gotta be properly lined up on those torpedoes.
Well, here's a fun
hitboxes
fact. I realized if you hold the torpedo button, she'll actually do like the predicted line of where.
Right? Yeah, you can hold it and you can kind of line it up, but like I have a lot of like incidental wimble, so you gotta, and like I said, the hitboxes are precise. You have a little bit of aim, but you'll weeble and wobble a little bit, so you want to make sure you only let go when you're properly lined up.
How like life.
Yep.
But I said one of the new. I don't know if you've had a chance to try this out. I don't mean to sound mean, but I doubt it. But one of the updates they did to the UI is now you can play the games at 60 FPS. It's kind of cool. Things are silky smooth. I turned it off after like 3 days because I was like, here's the weird thing about 60 FPS. Yeah, things are running a lot smoother and faster, but when things like slow down, it becomes real fucking noticeable. It's like I'd rather just go down like this is like my main complaints about like 60 FPS versus 30 FPS. When you run things at 30 FPS, when things kind of like slow down, you might not necessarily recognize it like immediately. When things start to slow down at 60 FPS, you recognize it fucking immediately. So I was like, But it's fun to turn on once in a while, especially like during ship builds when they all pop out all silky smooth. I'm like, ooh my.
Yeah, and also by the way, there's a new shipbuilding animation. When you actually launch the ship, you get a little weird cube drop animation, like a freaking PS2 era opening cutscene. And it's like, ooh, there's like 3D effects, and it pops, and this little ship crew comes out, and then you get really disappointed because it's another fucking Suffolk or Kent. Or God help somebody in our community.
Shropshire?
They did a 10 build and they got a double fucking San Diego. Ugh. I shiver. I quake. Shimmy, shimmy, shake. Though,
I do also like the fact.
Does San Diego have her retrofit for us yet?
Nope.
Okay. I know
I can tell
Warspite
you that
doesn't.
off the top of my fucking head.
Warspite doesn't yet either. That's going to make Warspite really good, which is kind of a shame because it makes her like super better than Hood, but whatever. She's cool. She needs it. She's really rad.
Yeah, the only feather in my fucking cap. I finally got Akashi,
Nice.
and I literally only pushed through with this because her skin which is for Azure Con. And they brought back the fucking fill in the blank color by numbers.
Oh yeah,
Or
I have a shitload
color
of those
by-
paints. I should wrap those up. I feel one thing I do feel about the UI update is sometimes I feel like the game wants me to do more events that it's not necessarily showing me.
Nah.
Right? Like I have a permanent
See,
exclamation point on
this is
HQ
what I like about
right
Girls
now.
Frontline. This is what I like about Girls Frontline. Girls Frontline at the bottom in the toolbar just has a tab that says events.
Yeah, you have to like wait for the list to scroll to do that in AL.
Yeah, or
There is an
you
event
manually-
checklist, but it's like at the very end of the little rotating
Yeah.
queue.
Yeah, it's the event summary. It has St. Louis. It has Look at Lou on it. But
Yeah.
in Girls Frontline though, you just go to the bottom and you're just like, boop.
Give me the event tab. And
Yeah.
some events will have time limited event right there at the top. Like right now we're doing a points ladder.
Yeah.
It's right there.
So, yeah, but usually if you hit like the U556, it will bring up the events tab. But as I said, once that's gone, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because we actually got a few things going.
Yeah,
on
we
right
have a
now.
lot of as usual. We have a lot of not submarine but sub events that are sub themed right now. Like there's a shop and a points ladder for shares of Iron and Blood or whatever the fuck the full fucking name is. Calm down a little, guys. Calm down.
Hey, we in the Iron Blood, we fucking edgy, yo.
Yeah, there's a really baller scene that starts with a Bismarck. Like you can almost hear the trumpets. Bump bump, kind of deep sounds. Some marching music, maybe.
Give me Frederick the Great, or however it's properly pronounced.
I mean, that's just what that means in English, so you can say
Yeah,
that.
I know, but it's spelled differently, so I'm just like,
Yeah, it's got the weird slanty B though from that's the same as it is in Scheisse. So I'm like, I don't fucking know. Is that like a gross? But is there like an umlaut there? I don't know. Listen, we speak into English, where we have done away with all your extraneous weird fleck marks on your fucking alphabet. There's 26, I want to say, letters.
Yeah.
That's how many letters we have in this language. Those are all the letters you need. All those other fucking weird letters you use, get that shit out of here.
Away with ye.
If we didn't steal it from your language, it's worthless. Because that's what we did. We took all the cool parts of your languages and we made the coolest language. Power.
Oh, here's something-
Powerade. It'll no, what's it? Brondo the Thirst Mutilator. It'll quench ya.
So here's here's something that I find interesting. We're having something called the Wishing Well, which is going on.
Oh yeah,
from the
I haven't tried
23rd.
that out yet because I'm still doing event builds.
I haven't tried that out because I literally don't need a single fucking ship in any of these goddamn things.
Yeah, I think you
So-
can put Prince of Wales on Raid Up. I didn't get her from the original event, so now that she's permanent, I'd like her to wrap up my collection of
Yeah,
ladies with
basically what
swords.
it is you basically take one of the three build types, either
The normal
light,
ones,
heavy,
yeah.
or special, and it gets a rate up. Then you can pick two specific ships to get an additional rate up. The only thing is, it's all the fucking common ass ships.
Right, it's all normal permanent ships.
So yeah, like if you're someone who's like new to the game and you don't haven't been spent an almost fucking year on this,
Hi.
yeah, no, this is fucking great. But for players like me,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna admit-
literally the only ship I can think of that I need off this list that's a build is, like I said, Prince of Wales, because, hey, I missed her in the original event, and I don't do a lot of normal-ass builds right now because we've been doing a lot of special ones, unique ones for events, so... But that's like the
Well, I
only
think
ship
that's
I can think of that's a big deal that I haven't gotten yet.
Yeah, I'm looking again just to make sure, but yeah, I already have every single build ship. The only ships I'm missing are drop ships, which I'll probably get working on after I get my Iron Blood boner goes down, which is gonna be a long fucking time. So I feel like this is something that's great for newer players who might not have their shit on lockdown. But for me, I'm this is literally useless. So I don't know how to feel about it. I guess it's one of those what is it called? FGO does them occasionally where they do hey, if you come back to FGO, you can have all this extra shit.
Returning players is what I think they
Yeah.
usually call it. Sometimes they also do Start Dash, which is for brand new
Yes.
players, period. This is
Yeah.
hey, if you recently jumped into this game because we're doing the fucking UI update and all kinds of fun stuff, which lots of people have. I've been hearing lots of people sign up recently. Which on some level, I'm like, well, okay, good fucking luck to you, sir. You're starting in the middle of an event. Luckily, so far,
Honestly,
at least
like,
A
this is what I
maps,
tell-
which is just all the time I've had to do. Listen, I've been doing a lot of these events. I can make the AK points for Prince George. It's no big deal. So, like, now that I got Bismarck, I'm not necessarily in a rush to slam through this in the middle of the night. But, so I'm a little behind. But as usual, the A maps are like woefully easy. Fucking level 30, trash mobs. I'm like, okay.
Well, I'm working through them just because I don't think you can get the story in the hard maps. You actually have to do the normal maps to actually get like all the cutscenes and stuff. So that's why I'm working through this. Otherwise, no, I just would have gone straight to the fucking hard maps. Oh yeah, here's another fun pack with this UI update. They have updated all their fucking loading screens.
Yep.
I think my favorite one is the picture of Akashi and Shiranui painting fucking purple gearboxes gold. And it's one of the moments of I fucking knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also some good civilization in there as well. There's something for all types. I personally had a small heart attack when I saw the 4 kindergartners walking down the road. It's like, oh god. Yes, that one is also amazing. One Fat Panda has posted the one that I will unabashedly said, this might be my fetish. It's a picture of Amagi. I want to say
who is the blonde-haired one? I can't remember her fucking name. It's one of them. Is it Congo?
It might be.
It might be Congo.
I don't know. It's some big-breasted ladies pressing their boobs on the glass. Oh, is it North Carolina?
Is it NC? Okay, it's NC. I gotta be honest. Sometimes with like the fan art and the loading screens, it's a little hard to tell.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's not a 1-to-1 to the original art styles.
But there are some breasts pressed against some glass. There is a commander being grabbed. He looks panicked. I'm like, I kind of
they're playing a crane game, and so the quote unquote camera is inside the crane game glass. All the girls are pressed up against it, and they're pulling a little embarrassed Shiki-Kan out of it.
I guarantee you that Shiki-Kan is going into one of those breast valleys. I've read enough hints to see where this is going. But as I said, like Azur Lane continues to be amazing.
Yeah, it's real good.
It is real good.
They have good stuff, good tech.
Good tech.
Let's see, we're at about 2.5 hours, and it's like 10 o'clock here.
Yeah, it's like 7 p.m. here, and I gotta like do stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. We can talk about that after if you feel like streaming or not, because it won't be relevant to these guys because it's 10 o'clock at night. This episode's not going to get rendered for fucking forever.
Ever!
Rendering. Anyway, so I feel like if we're done with stuff, we've done a very healthy episode where we talked about all our favorite things, and we can go ahead and wrap up.
Let's wrap up. I
feel like there was something in Let's Talk FGO I said I'd put a pin in, but I can't remember.
There was, but I totally forgot what it was. So whoop.
Same here. So it doesn't matter. Wasn't important. If you remember what it was I said that to put a pin in and talk about, I'm sure it'll be relevant later. Post it in the fucking comments, because that'll remember me. And yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and wind down here. If you're okay with that, Lucky.
I'm okay with that, Omega.
Okay. So first off, if you like this episode, give it a like on the YouTubes. Lets us know you're watching, and keep stuff in circulation. Like we said, if you got any comments, leave them in the comment section down below. And if you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you can always get our latest episodes. And consider hitting that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new episode. Because like I said, hey, sometimes we record What's Up in the middle of the night, and the whole exporting his video and saving process and uploading takes a long time. So it'll be a couple days before this comes out. So you never know. Also, to let you know when Lucky does actually choose to stream Farming Live with Lucky or whatever the fuck we're calling it. Lucky doesn't remember right now, and I don't either. I just show up. And so that's fun. And consider supporting us on Patreon, like it says at the front of the show. You can get this episode in audio format downloadable as soon as it's done getting recorded for as little as $1 a month, and that's, completely retroactive. All our backlog and stuff if you ever want to catch up on something. Yeah, that's about it. So we'll see you next week for more Let's Talk FGO and more What's Up. And listen to the episode of Let's Talk FGO we just released. I think it was 89. I'm not good with numbers, okay, guys? Where me and Lucky talk back and forth about lots of stuff we're planning on posting. So, Yeah. Stay tuned. All right. We out.